Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, Cabbage Head Fanfics. Back with amazing fanfiction. This is the series of What If Deku Becomes Chaos Mugen? Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Infinite, also known as Izuku Mugen, flew around the city, excited to hear that it was the first day at UA. He directed his flight towards the school, using the Phantom Ruby to conceal his presence. At the training ground, Shota Izawa, known as Eraserhead, was conducting a quirk test with his class. Now, Katsuki Bokugo, throw this ball with everything you've got, he instructed. Katsuki nodded and stepped into the center of the circle. You want my power? You got it. Katsuki declared as he launched the ball with his explosive quirk. Die, he shouted, and the device displayed the result. 704 meters, the class exclaimed in awe. Impressive, Mina remarked, her excitement evident. We can use our quirks as much as we want. This is fun. Shota began to smile at the enthusiasm. So, this is fun, huh? How about we make this more interesting? The last place gets expelled, he announced. But we just got here. It's not fair. Ochako protested. Fair? Do you remember what you all did to my nephew, Izuku? You're lucky we didn't throw you in Tartarus along with All Might and Xtreme. Now, quiet down and start the test, Shota replied sternly. A voice interrupted, Geez, Eraserhead. I knew you were strict. Shota recognized the voice. Who are you? Izumi asked, confused. Oh right. I'm still hidden, the voice said before revealing itself as the Vigilante Infinite. So, these are the new generation of heroes? Pathetic, Infinite stated, causing fear among the students who recognized him. Who are you? Mina asked, her voice trembling. You may call me Infinite, he replied. You villain. You're under arrest for your actions. Tenya shouted. Does he even have a brain cell? Infinite quipped, dodging the confrontation. Listen here, freak. You either leave or I'm going to beat you. Katsuki yelled, charging at him. My name is Infinite, he said, effortlessly kicking Katsuki against the wall. Izumi attempted to use her telekinesis, but Infinite moved too quickly, appearing right in front of her. So, you're the one who beat Izuku? He asked, catching them off guard. How do you know Oni-chan? Izumi asked, her eyes widening. Well, he's not your brother. I met him 2 months ago when I saved him from thugs. What I saw in his memories disgusted me. You and your friends betrayed him, Infinite revealed. Katsumi jumped in front of him, demanding, Tell me where Aiken is. I wouldn't tell you even if I knew. We parted ways after I healed him, Infinite replied, just as he dodged a bullet from Snipe. All the UA teachers, including All Might and Xtreme, arrived on the scene. Stop right there, villain. All Might commanded. I'm not in the mood for a fight, but if that's what you want, then come on, Infinite taunted. All Might charged at him, but Infinite easily dodged the attack, landing a powerful punch that sent All Might crashing into a wall. Eraserhead, your quirk doesn't work on me, Infinite stated, surprising Shota. How? Shota asked, astonished. Easy, I'm quirkless. My power is a mystery to all of you, Infinite explained. You're going to tell us the source of your power. All Might insisted, charging again. Your insistence is futile, Infinite replied, and suddenly, everyone began to float before he knocked out All Might. This is goodbye for now, he said, teleporting away. Once he was alone, he removed his mask to reveal Izuku Mugen. He then used the Phantom Ruby to change his appearance, transforming his tails and ears, and altering his eye and hair color. That was something, Izuku remarked as he made his Infinite outfit disappear. He returned to his apartment, where he was greeted by his daughter, Eri. Papa, she called. Hey, Snowball, Izuku replied warmly. The day started normally as Izuku worked at the cafe where he was employed while Eri was at school. When the door opened, revealing Class 1A, Izuku was on the phone and didn't notice them at first. He looked up when he heard the bell. Hello. What would you like to order? He asked, his demeanor shifting as he recognized them. Izumi entered with her friends, intrigued by the cafe. They ordered drinks and donuts while Izuku returned to his duties. After they finished, Class 1A left, and as Izuku walked home, he noticed a crowd gathered around a large TV displaying breaking news. We're here at the tragic event. The villain, Muscular, is on a rampage, having injured many heroes. The question is, where's All Might? The news anchor reported. Finding a corner where he wouldn't be seen, Izuku used the Phantom Ruby to revert his appearance and summoned his infinite outfit before flying towards Muscular. Meanwhile, Muscular wreaked havoc in the town, injuring civilians and mocking the heroes. No one can stop me. Not even All Might, he laughed. Suddenly he was kicked hard against a wall. Who dares? He demanded, turning to see Infinite standing before him. Me, Infinite replied confidently. Muscular grinned, eager for the challenge. Infinite. I always wanted to fight you. A worthy opponent. Your rampage ends here, Infinite declared, and they clashed fiercely. Muscular found himself outmatched as Infinite teleported around him, landing precise strikes. Enough with these cheap tricks. Come at me with everything you've got. Muscular shouted. You got it. Infinite responded, summoning his cubes and launching them at Muscular, who struggled to defend himself against the onslaught. After a relentless exchange, Muscular was left bruised and battered. It doesn't matter, Infinite, he growled defiantly. I won't stay in jail for long. I'll break out and continue my mission. Infinite laughed. Who said something about jail? Muscular looked confused. What are you talking about? When I said your villainy ends here, I was talking about your life too. Infinite used his cubes to trap Muscular within one of them. This is for all the innocent people you harmed. He began to shrink the cube. Muscular tried to punch his way out, but it was impossible to escape. You'll feel their pain. As he continued to compress the cube, Muscular was defeated. Infinite dropped his body to the ground. A reporter exclaimed, Unbelievable! Infinite just defeated Muscular. What is he doing now? He's approaching the people. Infinite walked over to a woman who had a serious injury. Thank you. You saved my husband and my kids, she said gratefully. No problem, Infinite replied, noticing her wound. You're injured. Yeah. I don't know if I can make it. He placed his hand over her injury. Unbounding healing. He healed her, and she gasped in relief. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I said, no problem. Then 2 children, no older than 6, ran up and hugged her tightly. Mommy, they cried, and the 3 embraced, tears of joy streaming down their faces. A man in his 30s approached Infinite. Thank you, Infinite, for saving my wife. I was doing what was right, Infinite replied before moving on to heal others. As he finished, he prepared to take flight when he heard the crowd calling his name with joy. Infinite! 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 He soared into the clouds. The reporter added, and Infinite just disappeared. The people are already saying he's a better hero than most. He did this to ensure the safety of the citizens. We still don't know the full extent of his powers. Transmission out. The next day, Izuku woke up and prepared breakfast for himself and Eri. After they ate, Eri went to school. On his way to work, he noticed some children playing heroes and villains. One child laughed, I'm a bad villain. I can do whatever I want. Not so fast. Hawks will stop you. Taste my feathers. Another child declared, sporting toy red wings. All Might will stop you, villain. Texas Smash. A third child shouted. The first child turned to the fourth, who wore a mask similar to Infinite's. And you are? You may call me Infinite, the fourth child replied. Izuku chuckled and continued on his way. He passed by a universal market filled with infinite merchandise, toys, plushies, cosplay items, masks, posters, and more. He was amazed by the variety but felt content knowing that people were happy. 2 days had passed since Infinite defeated Muscular. Many began to say that he was a better hero than the rest, which made things difficult for those heroes who sought fame and fortune. They vowed to catch him. That night, Infinite stood atop a building, surveying the city. For now, it's peace, he murmured before turning around. You know it's rude to spy on someone, Eraserhead, he said, noticing the hero hiding nearby. You noticed me? Eraserhead replied. I have for a while. So, what do you need? You know you can't stop me alone. True, but who said I'm alone? More heroes appeared. Endeavor, Blue Nova, Blizzard, Midnight, Mirko, E-Lady, Hawks, Mike, and others. You know, even if you outnumber me, I won't give up without a fight, Infinite stated confidently. Just then, Nizu emerged from Eraserhead's scarf. Hello, Infinite. Hello, Nizu. Before you do something, I have an offer for you. What kind of offer? Infinite asked. If you stop your vigilantism, I'll give you a hero license. Sorry, but I have to decline. Besides, I'm only 15. Everyone was shocked to learn that the Vigilante Infinite was just a kid. Wait, you're just a kid? Eraserhead asked. Infinite nodded. Why is a kid doing vigilante work? MT Lady questioned. Even if I wanted to accept your offer, Nizu, I can't. I don't remember who I am. Blizzard asked. What do you mean? I was used for experiments, and they erased my memory. The only thing I remember is the pain and suffering from my past. Everyone fell silent. As Infinite prepared to leave, All Might charged at him. Anticipating this, Infinite teleported away. Idiot, he muttered, continuing to fly until he heard a commotion below. He stopped and looked down, disgusted by what he saw. A so-called hero was attacking some kids while yelling angrily. Take this, you useless brats. This is for ruining my hero costume, the fake hero shouted. The kids cowered in fear, begging for mercy, but the hero continued to strike them. Infinite appeared. If you value your life, leave and never do something like this again. Who are you? The hero asked, turning around. I Infinite, he stammered. And I thought heroes were supposed to protect people, not harm kids, Infinite said. They ruined my costume. It cost over $1,000, the hero replied, showing his true priorities. Infinite instructed the kids to run, and they quickly fled. The fake hero tried to pursue them, but Infinite used his powers to stop him. Your life ends today, he declared, summoning his sword. He swiftly dealt with the threat, ensuring justice was served. Afterward, he hacked into a news broadcast. Good day, everyone. I, Infinite, come to warn all the fake heroes and villains. You'll end up like this guy soon. He displayed the consequences of the fake hero's actions. This example shows what happens when you abuse your position. Now, for the rest of the heroes like him, don't try to make things right. I'm coming for you. With that, the transmission ended. Meanwhile, in Hosu, Stain remarked, Infinite. You may be a vigilante, but you have the right to be called a true hero. In an unknown bar, Tamura said, Sensei, Infinite just took down another hero. I know, Tamura. This Infinite guy is certainly troublesome, FO replied, pondering who Infinite truly was. And what an amazing quirk you have. At the Yagi residence, the students of Class 1A gathered at Izumi's house for a slumber party when they saw the news. Izumi expressed her shock, saying, He just killed him. Tsuyu added, Yeah, but we saw the memories of the hero. He wasn't innocent. Tenya insisted, Even still, he's a villain who should be behind bars. Momo wondered aloud, I wonder why he didn't become a hero? Inko replied, Because he can't. Izumi asked, What do you mean, Mom? Inko explained, Izumi, Infinite is only 15. The group gasped in unison, Izumi was incredulous. Mom, you mean Infinite is the same age as us? Inko confirmed, Yeah. He told us tonight. And judging from his height, it's telling the truth. The room fell silent, and eventually, everyone went to sleep. The next day, Detective Nao Mesa investigated the cause of the dead hero and confirmed that the memories he had seen were true. Still, he was determined to capture Infinite, though it was easier said than done. At a cafe, Izuku was cleaning cups and plates when the doors swung open. The heroes from the previous night entered, but without their outfits. Izuku greeted them, Welcome. What would you like to order? The males ordered coffee, Nizu requested tea, and the women chose coffee and donuts. Izuku went to prepare the orders, making a strong black coffee for Aizawa and placing pastries on the table. "They're on the house," he said as he finished the orders and delivered them. He overheard the heroes discussing their search for Izuku, mentioning that the last clue about him was what Infinite had said. Shota remarked that even if they caught Infinite, they wouldn't find Izuku since they had parted ways. Later that night, after helping his daughter Eri to sleep, Izuku changed into his Infinite persona and went on patrol. It was quiet until he suddenly dodged a kick from Mirko. "Hello, Mirko," he greeted. "Hello, Infinite," she replied. "What can I do for you?" he asked. "I want to fight you," Mirko declared. "Is that so? Then I'm happy to grant the wish of our appealing woman," Infinite said with a smirk. "Are you flirting with me?" Mirko challenged. "Maybe. Does it work?" he teased. "Fight me, then we'll talk," she insisted. "Deal," he agreed, and they began to spar. Infinite proved to be a formidable opponent, but Mirko was skilled, ultimately pinning him to the ground. "Were you holding back?" she asked. "Yes. I still can't control my power," he admitted. "But I can do this. Chaos control." With that, he teleported away and resumed his patrol. As he flew, he suddenly had to dodge a bullet. He turned to see a figure shrouded in purple mist holding a gun. "You thought that could hurt me?" Infinite taunted. "No. It was to get your attention." "Oh, where are my manners?" "I'm Kurogyri, and my Sir wants to talk to you," he said, opening a portal. Infinite warned, "You know what will happen if you try to trick me?" "I'm aware," Kurogyri replied as they both entered the portal. "Mr. I brought him," Kurogyri announced. A voice responded, "Good job, Kurogyri." Infinite turned to see a figure emerge from the shadows. "Who are you supposed to be?" Infinite asked. "I'm Ifo. And I always wanted to meet you, Infinite," the figure replied. "Why?" Infinite inquired. "I was hoping you could answer my questions," AFO said. "What questions?" Infinite asked. "People keep wondering what quirk you have." "So, what is your quirk?" AFO pressed. "My power is not a quirk. It's a mystery of something. But I'll tell you where I got it. I was used for experiments," Infinite explained. "Interesting. The next question is, what is with the rings on your wrists and ankles?" AFO continued. "These are inhibitor rings. I can't control my power yet. If I took them off, the Earth would be in danger," Infinite answered. "Oh my, what a powerful opponent you are." "The last two questions, who are you?" AFO asked. "That's a mystery," Infinite replied. "Final question, would you like to join me?" AFO offered. "No. I'm a vigilante. Normally, I would take you down, but something tells me that I shouldn't." "Goodbye, AFO," Infinite said before teleporting away. "I had a bad feeling about this," he thought as he flew off, but soon found himself caught by giant hands. "I got you, Infinite," Inlady declared. "Fool!" he exclaimed, breaking free, only to be caught again by Kamui Woods. "Infinite, surrender!" Kamui demanded. "Since when does that work?" Infinite retorted, teleporting away once more. As he resumed his patrol, he dodged more bullets. "Infinite, surrender now," a policeman shouted. Infinite raised his arms in mock surrender. "Okay, I surrender." "Oh look." A redacted lady on the balcony. The policeman and his team turned to look, only to realize they had been tricked. Infinite teleported to the top of a building. "Disgusting perverts," he muttered before continuing his flight home. Once there, he changed back to his two-tailed form and went to sleep. The next day, Izuku woke up, prepared breakfast for himself and Eri, and then transformed back into Infinite. "Eri, go to school. There's something I need to do," he instructed. "Okay, Papa," she replied with a smile. Infinite thought to himself, my eyes. I need some sunglasses. It's too bright." He teleported to Nizu's office. In the office, Nizu addressed the gathered group. "We are here to discuss Infinite." Ray remarked, "We don't know who he is." Xtreme added, "Or what his quirk is." Suddenly, Infinite appeared in front of them. "Hello, everyone," he greeted. The group instinctively took a fighting stance. "Relax, I didn't come here to fight, only to talk with Nizu," Infinite assured them. Nizu asked, "What would you like to talk about, Infinite?" "Where's the USJ?" Infinite inquired. Midnight asked, "What do you want to know that for?" "The students might be in danger," Infinite explained. "And what can you provide to make me tell you?" Nizu challenged. "I know you want to talk with me. I'll talk to you after the USJ," Infinite replied. "Deal," Nizu agreed. "Nizu, you can't trust him," someone shouted. "I know, but this is an opportunity to learn more about him," Nizu said, showing Infinite the location. "Thanks," Infinite said, walking toward Nizu and whispering something only he could hear. "Uncle," Infinite said before teleporting away. Nizu thought to himself, "So, it's you, Izuku." After obtaining the address of the USJ, Infinite flew toward it, hoping his uncle would be okay. At the USJ, the students were scattered in different locations with only a few at the entrance. Aizawa was pinned down by a Nomu, and a boy with multiple hands, named Tamura, taunted him. "Feel the power of Nomu to raise her head. You can't do anything against him. You'll be like a quirkless person in front of him." Suddenly, the Nomu was kicked back into a wall. "Who dares?" Tamura shouted. "That would be me," Infinite declared as he stepped forward. Tamura's eyes widened in disbelief. "No. What are you doing here, Infinite?" "I heard you were going to attack this place, so I just came," Infinite replied. "Nomu, take him down." The Nomu charged at Infinite, but he quickly teleported to Aizawa's side. "Are you all right, Uncle Sho?" Infinite asked quietly. "Ku," Aizawa managed to reply. Infinite nodded. "We'll talk after this." He and Aizawa teleported to the exit, where all the students had taken fighting stances. Infinite ignored them and focused on healing Aizawa, and once he finished, he teleported back to face the villains, summoning a katana. "You have 3 options," he declared. 1. Leave and never come back. 2. Surrender to the police when they arrive. Or 3. Face my wrath. A chill ran down the spines of the villains, but one reckless individual stepped forward. "I'm not afraid of you, Infinite. I'll take you down." He charged, but it was futile. In a split second, Infinite drew his sword and swiftly defeated him. "Fool," Infinite remarked as the villain fell. He pointed his sword at the remaining villains. "Who's next?" Another villain rushed at him, only to meet the same fate. Infinite continued to take them down, leaving only a few who managed to escape with injuries. The rest of the students arrived at the entrance, witnessing the aftermath. "What's Infinite doing here?" Momo asked. "It doesn't matter. Once he's done, we're going to arrest him," Tenya shouted. After dispatching the remaining villains, Infinite turned to face the Nomu. "Now, it's time to finish this." He created another katana and charged at the Nomu, slicing at it repeatedly. "Fool. He has super regeneration. Your swords can't defeat him," Tamura shouted. "Then it's time to finish this," Infinite replied, making his swords disappear and using his powers instead. "Feel my power," he proclaimed, floating into the air and summoning cubes. "Take this." He hurled the cubes at the Nomu, bruising it severely. "And now, to finish this." He threw another cube, trapping the Nomu inside. "Now die," he commanded, shrinking the cube and squeezing the Nomu until it was defeated. "Who's next?" Infinite called out. "Demon IT. Kurogyri, get me out of here." Tamura yelled. "On it," Kurogyri replied, and they vanished. "Now it's over," Infinite said, just as the entrance door burst open and All Might entered. "Don't worry, All Might began, but Infinite interrupted. "Late." All Might took in the scene of defeated villains and those who had surrendered. "Stop right there, villain," he shouted, charging at Infinite. Infinite simply teleported into the air. "Are you an idiot? I just saved your students, and you attack me. Villains like you must face justice." All Might insisted. "If you want to die, who am I to object?" Infinite replied, launching a counterattack. "Come on, All Might. Is this the best you've got? I'm disappointed." After a fierce confrontation, All Might lay on the ground, unable to move. "Had enough?" Infinite asked. All Might could only groan in pain. It's time to finish this. He trapped All Might inside a cube. Goodbye, Toshinori Yagi. As he began to shrink the cube, Izumi rushed in, yelling, "Let him go." "Ask me nicely," Infinite replied. Just then, the rest of Class 1A arrived. "Let All Might go, you villain!" Katsuki shouted. "If I'm a villain, then what are you?" "You're all just as selfish," Infinite retorted. "Except for Koda. I saw how you treated Izuku." As he spoke, he dodged bullets fired by Snipe. "Stand down, Snipe," Nizu ordered. "But sir." Snipe protested. "Now," Nizu commanded, and Snipe ceased fire. "I believe you can come down, Izuku," Nizu said, shocking everyone. "Auntie Ray, it's me. I look like this because of the experiments," Infinite revealed, landing near them and removing his mask to show his unique features. "Izuku? Is that really you?" Inko asked, her voice trembling. "Yes, it's me," he replied, his tone sharp. "You don't deserve to be called that," he continued, "not after everything you've done." Inko broke down in tears. Paramedics arrived to assist All Might, and Class 1A gathered around. "Is that really you, Oni-chan?" Izumi asked. "Yes, it's me," he confirmed. The girls rushed to hug him, but he teleported away, causing them to fall. "Why didn't you let us hug you?" Momo complained. "Don't forget what you did, Momo. It's your fault I'm like this," Izuku replied. "We're sorry for everything," Mina said. "Your apologies won't erase the past," he stated firmly. "Izuku, you're going to come back and apologize." Tenya shouted. That was enough for Izuku. He punched Tenya, breaking his glasses. "Uncle Nizu, I'm leaving now. If I stay any longer, I might lose control. We'll talk tomorrow. I have to go to my daughter." "Very well, Izuku. Here's my number. You can come tomorrow," Nizu said, surprised. Izuku nodded. "Goodbye. Chaos control." He teleported away, disappearing from sight. Izuku, holding Eri, approached Yue. They arrived at the gates and sent a text to Nizu, who nodded and allowed them entry. As they walked through the halls, many students stared. "Who's that guy?" one asked. "I don't know, but his tail looks like Infinite's," another replied. Ignoring the whispers, Izuku continued to Nizu's office. Upon arrival, he saw Class 1A. The girls rushed to hug him again, but he teleported once more, causing them to tumble. "Oni-chan, why did you do that?" Izumi asked. 1. I'm not your brother. 2. Why would I let those who made my life difficult get close? Izuku responded. Izuku walked forward and opened the door, revealing Nizu, Eraserhead, Ms. Joke, Midnight, Mike, Nighteye, Endeavor, Blue Nova, Blizzard, Fuyumi, Natsuo, Tsukachi, All Might, and Xtreme. "Good morning, Uncle," Izuku greeted. "Good morning, nephew. Now let me introduce you to Detective Naomasa Tsukachi," Nizu said. "Greetings, Izuku Yagi," Tsukachi said. "Wrong. My name is not Yagi, it's Mugen," Izuku replied. "Stop making fake names." "Your name is Yagi," All Might interjected. "Oh, shut up, you talking balloon. I'm not your son. I'm Hisashi's son," Izuku retorted. "Now, Izuku, are you infinite?" Nizu asked. "IRI, can you go to Fuyumi?" Izuku requested, and IRI nodded before heading over. Izuku then made his infinite outfit appear, complete with inhibitor rings on his wrists and ankles. "Does that answer your question?" he asked. "Yes." "Now the next question, what is your quirk?" Nizu continued. As someone entered the room, Izuku took off his mask. "I don't have a quirk. I'm still quirkless," he admitted. "True," Tsukachi confirmed. "Then how were you able to fly and do all those things?" Nizu inquired. "It's better to start from the beginning," Izuku said, leading into a flashback. 2 years ago, Izuku lay on the ground, bruised and wounded. "Just give up, Deku. You're never gonna be a hero," Izumi taunted. "That's right. You're useless," Mina added. "Just die," Katsuki shouted. Izumi used her telekinesis to lift Izuku and threw a garbage bag at him, unaware that a broken bottle was inside. The bottle struck Izuku in the face, causing him pain. "He cried out. You know, Deku, there's a way to have a quirk. Just pray for one in your next life and take a swan dive from a rooftop, Katsuki suggested. Yeah, wait. Izumi realized what he said and approached Izuku. Oni-chan, she started. Leave me alone. I hate you all. I hope all of you die. Izuku shouted, shocking everyone. Taking advantage of their surprise, he ran away, clutching his arm against his eye. He continued to run until he bumped into a man. Sorry, mister, Izuku said, looking up at none other than Doctor Eggman. Well, what do we have here? A child bruised and bleeding? Judging from the wounds, I'll say that you're quirkless. Perfect, you're going to be great for my experiments, Eggman said with a sinister grin. Izuku tried to escape, but robots appeared and captured him. Eggman noticed Izuku's tormentors. Mister, have you seen a kid with green hair? Izumi asked. Yes, he'll be perfect for my experiments, Eggman replied, flying away with Izuku. For 2 years, Eggman experimented on Izuku, mutating him and changing his appearance. He learned that his father was not Toshinori Yagi but Hisashi Midoriya, who had died before his birth. Eggman inserted a strange gem into Izuku's chest, calling it the Phantom Ruby. After nearly destroying Eggman's facility, he was forced to wear inhibitor rings that suppressed his powers. Fast forward 2 years, Izuku declared, "Today I escaped." He dashed forward, destroying robots that continued to swarm him. Damn it. I need to finish this quickly, he muttered, floating in the air and summoning cubes. Take this, he shouted as the cubes obliterated the robots. Now to find Eggman, he resolved. Meanwhile, in Eggman's lair, an alarm blared. Emergency! Project Infinite has escaped. Repeat. Project Infinite has escaped. Eggman sighed. Of course he'll escape. Why am I not surprised? Another experiment turned on me. Suddenly, the door was destroyed, and Izuku entered. Eggman, he called out. Bravo! You destroyed my robots and escaped. Now what are you going to do? Oh yeah, kill me? Eggman taunted. No, Izuku replied. What? After everything I did to you? Why? Eggman asked, surprised. I could easily kill you, but I want to hear your reasons for why you did all of this. You wouldn't do this without a reason, Izuku stated. Very well. You see, Eggman began, but was interrupted by a voice. Geez, Eggman. You never clean here. Both Izuku and Eggman turned around to see some creatures. Sonic exclaimed in surprise upon seeing a familiar figure. Long time no. Infinite? Tails shook his head in disbelief. It can't be. Amy added, not another war. Silver was confused. How? Shadow raised a hand to pause the conversation. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Infinite disappeared long ago, and the person in front of us looks human, aside from the tail and ears. Rouge nodded in agreement. You're right. Silver continued, yeah, but why do I sense the power of the Chaos Emeralds in him? Knuckles chimed in, and the power of the Emser Emerald? Amy turned to the newcomer. Who are you? The figure removed his mask. I'm Izuku. Tails was taken aback. Wait, you're just a kid? What are you doing with the Phantom Ruby? Izuku replied, I'm here for answers. The only person who has them is right here. They all turned to Eggman. Eggman explained, the reason this kid has the Phantom Ruby is that he was supposed to be my greatest creation. I found him bruised and alone, realizing he was quirkless and no one would care for him. Amy was horrified. You experimented on a kid? How could you? Rouge added, Eggman, that's low even for you. Eggman shrugged. You think I don't know that? Shadow pressed on, I understand why he has the Phantom Ruby, but why do I sense energy from the Chaos Emeralds? Knuckles echoed, and from the Emser Emerald? Eggman admitted, I took the Chaos Emeralds and transferred some energy to him. As for the MS Star Emerald, I collected some fragments. Izuku then asked, now that we know this, Eggman, tell us why you turned like this? Tails agreed, he has a point, Eggman. A brilliant genius like you would never do something like this without a reason. Eggman relented. Okay. After Eggman explained his reasoning, Izuku spoke up. So you turned me into the second infinite to get rid of him? He glanced at Sonic. Eggman confirmed, yeah. Sonic scoffed, yeah, like we're going to believe this, right guys? Amy slapped Sonic lightly. Sonic, how could you? He was giving the animals an amusement park. Sonic looked confused. Amy. Tails added, Sonic, all of this is because of you. The kid was turned into infinite because of you. Blaze asked, Izuku, was it? Are you okay? Izuku replied, I've seen better days. Everyone thought, what happened to this kid? Shadow confronted Sonic. You're many things, but to be this careless. Sonic admitted, you're right. Eggman, I'm sorry for everything. I should have reasoned with you. Instead, I was careless. Eggman smirked. That's what I wanted to hear. Izuku suggested, Eggman, you can still build your amusement park. Eggman responded, thanks. Izuku, are you willing to forgive your past? Silver asked, what do you mean? Izuku explained everything, and the group was filled with anger. Sonic muttered, symbol of peace, my butt. Eggman inquired, so, are you willing to forgive them? Izuku shook his head. No. For 8 years, they did all the things I wished to forget. Only their parents and older siblings were nice to me. The forgiveness for them died like my dream to be a hero. With the power I have, I'll become a vigilante. Eggman nodded in understanding. Before you leave, I can hack into their database and change your name. Izuku replied, I would love to have my father's name, but that way they'll recognize me. So change my name to Izuku Mugen. Eggman confirmed, understood. Izuku added, and I need to change my appearance when I'm not infinite. He looked at Tails. Perfect. Using the Phantom Ruby, he transformed, gaining Tails' ears and tails. And add a quirk called Fox. Eggman replied, already done. Izuku looked at the completed identity card. Thanks. Now I have to get used to my powers. Sonic offered, we can help you, Izu. Izuku smiled. Thanks, guys. As the flashback ended, Izuku concluded, and that's my story. The woman in the audience cried, while the men looked angrily at Class 1A and the Yagis. Midnight rushed forward and hugged Izuku tightly. He returned the embrace. It's okay, Auntie. It wasn't your fault. The girls from Class 1A cried, feeling remorse for their actions, while the boys hung their heads in guilt. Nizu spoke up, now I'll expel Class 1A, except for Koda. Izuku interjected, no. Nizu raised an eyebrow. Why? Izuku replied, unlike them, I'm not the one who crushed dreams, but you can punish them as much as you want. Nizu considered this. Very well. But would you like to join the hero course? Izuku responded, no problem. But put me in Class 1B. I don't want to be in the same class as them. Nizu nodded. You're starting tomorrow. Izuku added, thanks, but what about my daughter? I can't leave her alone. And I have a job to work. Nizu reassured him, don't worry. I already arranged kindergarten for Yue. And for your job, we can arrange for you to work without losing school. Izuku smiled. Thanks, uncle. He took Fuyumi and left. Meanwhile, at Aldra Middle School, the teachers were gathered in the office. The principal asked, so, what are we doing for the next generation of heroes? The history teacher remarked, I think this new generation is promising, especially Izumi Yagi. Another teacher added, I agree. Not like that Deku. I'm glad he's gone. The principal chuckled, yeah. And he couldn't even snitch on us after I threatened him. Laughter filled the room, but soon the atmosphere grew tense. The principal shivered. Bia, what's happening? A voice echoed ominously, it's the death that's coming for you. They turned to see Infinite standing before them. Infinite greeted them, good day, everyone. The principal demanded, what are you doing here, Infinite? Infinite replied, I'm here to take something from you. The math teacher asked, what do you need? In a swift motion, Infinite teleported in front of the math teacher, grabbing him by the neck and lifting him up. I want to have vengeance. The principal questioned, what kind of vengeance? We didn't even know you. Infinite smirked. Oh, but you know, Back then, you didn't give me any attention. I was just a Deku. The teachers were shocked to realize Deku was infinite. One teacher exclaimed, Deku? It can't be. You're supposed to be a quirkless nobody under your sister's shadow. He didn't finish, as Infinite threw a chaos spear at his head. Infinite declared, Now, who's next? The principal warned, You won't escape, Death. The students will hear our screams and call the heroes. Infinite laughed. I just made an illusion in this office, and it's soundproof. No one will hear you. The teachers widened their eyes in horror. Infinite continued, And it's impossible to escape from my illusions. Only I can cancel them. Now taste my vengeance. One by one, Infinite took down the teachers. The last one standing was the principal. Infinite asked, Any last words? The principal pleaded, Please, spare me. I'll make it up to you. Infinite replied coldly, When I begged, did you help me? The principal fell silent. Infinite concluded, Goodbye, and ended the principal's life. Afterward, Infinite recorded a video detailing his actions and the reasons behind them, showcasing the memories of the teacher's mistreatment. He highlighted the discrimination and neglect faced by those like him, quirkless individuals and those with weaker quirks, often labeled as villains. Infinite pondered, and they wonder why there are so many villains? With that, he deactivated his illusion and teleported away. When the break ended, students entered the teacher's office, only to be met with a shocking scene. Inside the room were the bodies of the students, and on the table was a camera with a note that said, Play. The students immediately called the police. Within minutes, the school was surrounded by officers, medics, and reporters. A news report stated that all the teachers of Aldra Middle School had been killed, with the only clue being the mysterious camera. The content was about to be revealed. At the Yagi residence, Izumi expressed her disbelief that anyone would have a motive against them. Mina questioned her certainty, while Tsuyu pointed out that Izuku had killed, wondering why he targeted his former teachers. Tenya insisted that justice needed to be served. Momo pondered why Izuku had transformed into the figure known as Infinite. In the UA office, Nizu confronted Izuku, acknowledging the gravity of his actions. A reporter returned, stating that the footage was disturbing but necessary to show. As they played the video, Infinite appeared on screen, revealing his identity and the reasons behind his actions. He exposed the dark truths about the principal and the abuse that had taken place, shocking everyone who watched. Infinite explained that the Hero Commission had covered up the teachers' misdeeds to protect their own interests, highlighting the bullying and discrimination faced by students like Izuku. The revelation left the audience in disbelief. At the Hero Commission, the president expressed urgency in capturing Infinite, while at UA, the teachers reacted with anger and frustration at the situation. Shota, in particular, was furious about the neglect his nephew faced and vowed to take action. Meanwhile, Toshinori felt the weight of the situation as his identity was revealed, and the students felt a chill run down their spines. In a conversation with Mirko, Infinite explained his choice to target Aldra, sharing his own experiences as a quirkless student. Mirko related to his struggles and acknowledged their previous encounter. Their exchange hinted at a mutual respect, and Infinite departed, leaving Mirko behind. Later, Izuku woke up and prepared breakfast for himself and Eri. After their morning routine, they headed to Izuku struggled to find his class until Nizu appeared to guide him. Once they arrived, Nizu introduced Izuku to Vlad, his new teacher. As Izuku entered the classroom, he introduced himself, and a classmate, Setsuna, asked if he was Infinite. Another student, Itsuka, quickly defended him, and Izuku confirmed his identity, showcasing his Infinite outfit. The class was astonished, and questions about his powers arose. Vlad instructed everyone to settle down, and Izuku took his seat next to Minoma, ready to learn about the upcoming sports festival. As the class ended, Nizu called for Izuku to come to the principal's office. Upon entering, he found the Hero Commission waiting for him, guns drawn. They accused him of illegal quirk use and various crimes. Izuku asserted his identity and the truth behind his actions, challenging their authority and exposing their hypocrisy. The MDM president fell silent, realizing that Izuku had the upper hand in the confrontation. Izuku walked to the door, but MDM President signaled her guards to stop him. As they prepared to act, Izuku calmly declared, "Chaos control." He used his ability to move outside of time, catching all the bullets aimed at him. When time resumed, he opened his hand, and the bullets fell to the floor. MDM President was taken aback. "How?" Izuku replied, "With the power of chaos control, I can move outside of time." The members of the Hero Commission were shocked to learn of his abilities. "This is just one of my powers. I suggest you don't provoke me, you wouldn't want someone like me as an enemy." With that, he opened the door and left. Nizu, observing the scene, remarked, "I warned you this wasn't a good idea. Even after he demonstrated his power, we still don't fully understand what he is capable of. He has been holding back." Back with Izuku, he thought about how the Hero Commission still hadn't learned their lesson. In Nizu's office, MDM President was in disbelief. How could a child possess such immense power? "We need to contain him. His abilities are too dangerous. He should be under All Might's guidance." Nizu responded, "I suggest you stand down, and Izuku is not someone you want to provoke. I won't allow you to repeat the mistakes of the past." The Hero Commission members were left speechless. MDM President proposed, "How about this? He'll fight his past, alongside All Might and Xtreme. If he loses, he will become a hero for us." Nizu agreed, "Fine. But if he wins, he will decide his own path." Back with Izuku, he returned to his class, noticing many of his classmates were absent. "Where are the others?" he asked. "They're in Class 1A, Izuku replied. Not wanting to delve further, Izuku decided to grab something to eat. As he sat down, he noticed the 1A students entering the cafeteria. He chose to ignore them and continued his meal. After finishing, he handed his plate to Lunch Rush and started to leave, only to be stopped by a member of 1A. "What do you want?" Izuku asked, a hint of annoyance in his voice. Izumi stepped forward, pleading, "Oni-chan, please give us a chance to make things right." Izuku responded coldly, "I'm not your brother. Inko never told you? We're stepbrothers. My father passed away before I was born. If you think I'll forgive the past and what you did to me, you're mistaken." Katsuki interjected, "Listen here, Det. You need to forget the past and come back to us." Frustrated, Izuku activated his Phantom Ruby, causing a noticeable sound that drew everyone's attention. He lifted Katsuki into the air with his telekinesis and asked, "Give me a good reason why I shouldn't retaliate right now?" He then threw Katsuki against the wall, leaving him unconscious. Tenya exclaimed, "Izuku, how could you do that? You could have hurt him." Izuku retorted, "It was self-defense. Don't lecture me about hurting him when all of you hurt me in the past." He ignored their protests and returned to his class. Later, Izuku was summoned to Nizu's office again, where he found 1A, All Might, and Xtreme waiting for him. "You called me, uncle?" Izuku asked. Nizu explained, "Yes, Izuku. You will have to fight 1A, All Might, and Xtreme." Izuku raised an eyebrow. Was this MDM President's idea? "Don't test me, kid," she warned. Izuku shot back, "Or what? You'll erase my existence again? Remember, I have enough evidence to expose the Hero Commission and the heroes you've protected." MDM President fell silent. Nizu continued, "If you lose, you will do whatever MDM President wants. If you win, you can choose your own path." "I accept," Izuku said firmly. Izumi pleaded once more, "Oni-chan, we will win, and you will come back to us." Izuku ignored her and headed to the designated location, Ground Beta. On his way, he encountered the big A girl with blue periwinkle hair began asking him questions. "Hey, who are you? Why are you dressed like Infinite? What's with the rings on your wrists and ankles?" she asked. "Nighteye, let him breathe," said Mirio Togata, apologizing for her enthusiasm. "I'm Mirio, by the way." "Hi, I'm Izuku Mugen. Nice to meet you. But I have to ask, does she consume a lot of sugar?" Izuku joked. Mirio chuckled, "Good one." Nighteye pouted at the teasing. Izuku explained, "I'm dressed like this because I'm infinite." He created a phantom cube on his finger to demonstrate. Now do you believe me? Mirio nodded, yes. But why become infinite? With your abilities, you could be a great hero. Izuku replied, I'm quirkless. My power isn't a quirk, it's a mystery to everyone except me and a few trusted individuals. After their brief interaction, Izuku made his way to Ground Beta, where 1A, All Might, and Xtreme awaited him. Izumi called out, Oni-chan, please. It's not too late. Surrender and we can make things right. Izuku responded, Izumi, the days of forgiveness are over. The day I was kidnapped, I gave up on being your friend. Everyone looked on with guilt, except for Katsuki, who remained defiant. Izuku donned his mask, declaring, I have let go of the old me, the weak one, so I could become stronger. Now, I possess the power to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Reborn. The immense power radiating from him was palpable. Now, let's rumble, he announced. 1A, All Might, and Xtreme were taken aback by the magnitude of his abilities. I'll give you a taste of your own medicine, Izuku said confidently. Katsuki, filled with anger, charged at him. Deku, you think you're better than me just because you have power? As Katsuki lunged, Izuku simply stated, Chaos Control. He stopped time and kicked Katsuki, causing him to fall to the ground. Izumi asked in disbelief, How fast is he? Tenya replied, I didn't even see him move. Mina wondered, What just happened? Izuku smirked, Fools? Shoto asked, What did you say? Izuku reiterated, I said you're all fools. I didn't move fast, I moved outside of time. Their faces were filled with shock as they processed his words. Momo questioned, How? There's no quirk that can do that. Izuku clarified, I've told you many times. I'm quirkless. I wield the power of the Phantom Ruby, the Chaos Emeralds, and the Emistar Emerald. Those 9 gems hold immense power, far greater than any quirks in this world. More powerful than One for All and All for One combined in their prime. I am the strongest on this earth, but not on the other earth. On that earth, there are those stronger than me. Izuku began to float in the air. Infinite declared, Now, let's begin. Katsuki recovered and returned to his classmates, though Kodo was not with them. Take this, Deku. Katsuki shouted as he and his twin pointed their gauntlets at Infinite and pulled the pins, releasing 2 massive explosions. The blasts surged toward Infinite, who calmly responded, Chaos Spear. The Chaos Spear collided with the explosions, creating a cloud of dust. What was that? Toru asked as none of them could see through the haze. Infinite flew above the dust to assess the situation. Once the dust cleared, Infinite was nowhere to be seen. Where did he go? Am questioned. I can't see him, Shoto said. I can't hear him, Kyoka added. Where did he go? Izumi echoed. It's obvious that Deku is too scared and has run away, Katsuki scoffed. Have you looked above you, idiots? Infinite's voice came from above. They looked up to see him floating in the air. Why would I be scared of you? Even combined, you're no match for me, Infinite stated confidently. Katsuki, fuming with anger, charged at him. Die, Deku, he yelled, attempting to attack, but Infinite merely punched him in the face. Pathetic, he remarked. Suddenly, a tongue wrapped around Infinite's left arm. He looked to see Tsuyu had caught him. Got you, she said. Are you sure about that? Infinite replied, grabbing her tongue and pulling her closer. Once she was near, he punched her hard, causing her to spit. Then he moved behind her, grabbed her arms, and pushed his knees into her back. Tsuyu, this is for when you jumped and kicked me, he said. Tsuyu cried out in pain, and the others watched in shock at Infinite's brutality. Izumi yelled, Oni, please stop. This isn't you. It's the power that corrupted you. Infinite released Tsuyu, who fell to the ground, crying. He kicked her toward her classmates, who caught her. Tsuyu! Mina exclaimed, noticing her inability to move her arms. Her arms are almost dislocated, but she'll be fine, Momo reassured. Inko, please. Stop this, Inko pleaded. Why should I listen to you when you never listen to me? Remember when I told you what Izumi and the others did to me? You called me a liar and hurt me, Infinite retorted. Inko recalled that moment and began to cry for what she had done. The days of forgiveness are long over. You never cared for me, and now it's time for my vengeance. Feel my power. Infinite shouted, releasing more energy. He teleported and began to defeat them one by one. Time passed, and the only ones still standing were Izumi, the Bakugo twins, the Todoroki twins, All Might, and Xtreme. Had enough? Infinite asked. The Bakugo and Todoroki twins launched their attacks, creating a massive explosion that engulfed Infinite in dust. Take that, Deku! Katsuki shouted. Is that it? Infinite emerged from the dust without a scratch. Let me show you a powerful attack. Chaos Blast. The Chaos Blast hit them, leaving all of them unconscious. I have my vengeance, Infinite declared. After the battle, the defeated were taken to Recovery Girl. Izuku accompanied them, not out of concern for them, but out of fear of his grandmother. He arrived at the medical room to see his former friends beaten and bruised, with the worst injuries among the Bakugo and Todoroki twins, Izumi, Tsuyu, Mina, Momo, Inko, and Toshinori. When Recovery Girl saw him, she hit him with her cane. What was that for? Izuku asked. For giving me so much work, she replied. That's why I'm here. I can heal them except for them, he pointed at All Might and Xtreme. Recovery Girl nodded, allowing Izuku to heal the others. He approached Momo and Mina, placing his arms on them. Unbinding healing, he announced, and they were healed in seconds. Mina rushed to hug Izuku, but he punched her lightly in the belly. Don't even think about it, he warned, and she fell unconscious. After healing the rest, he headed for the door but was stopped by MDM Beach. What do you want, MDM Beach? Izuku asked. Izuku Yagi, raise your hands. You're under arrest. You'll give your power to All Might and be sent to Tartarus, she declared. Take that order and shove it. Don't forget that I won the bet, so you'll leave me alone, he shot back. I don't care about that bet, you need to face justice, she insisted. I suggest you stand down, Izuku warned. Or what are you going to do? Me, nothing. But he does, Izuku pointed to his left. MDM Beach turned to see a man with pink hair, wearing a red cape, a crown, and a pig mask, pointing a bow at her. Technoblade, she said, surprised. Leave my friend alone. Technoblade commanded. Good to see you again, Techno, Izuku said. Likewise, Infinite, Technoblade replied. Infinite's outfit transformed, and he addressed MDM Beach. I suggest you go. You don't want to mess with someone more powerful than you and your heroes. This isn't over, she said angrily before leaving. Man, she's a pain, Infinite remarked. I know, Technoblade agreed. They fist bumped and left the medical room. So, what brings you here? Infinite asked. I was patrolling when I sensed your anger, so I stepped in, Technoblade explained. Thanks, man, Infinite replied. No problem. You helped me back in the day. Just then, Eri came running in, smiling. Papa, she called out. Infinite caught her and spun her around. Hey, Snowball. Look who's here. Eri rushed to Technoblade. Uncle Techno, she exclaimed, and he hugged her. It's good to see you again, Eri, he said. The three of them walked to Infinite's class, where Technoblade said he would leave. Infinite understood. Izuku made his outfit disappear and entered the classroom with Eri. Vlad, who's the kid? Vlad asked. Vlad-sensei, she's my daughter, Izuku replied. Eek, the class exclaimed. Please be quiet. She's scared, Izuku said, and the class nodded. He sat down at his desk with Eri in his lap. Time passed, and when school was over, Izuku picked up Eri and headed for the exit. There he saw his past and Fuyumi. Izuku thought, oh no. Fuyumi approached him, and he handed Eri to her. Eri was happy to be with Fuyumi. As Izuku turned to leave, a hand landed on his shoulder. He looked behind and saw that Inko had her hand on his shoulder. What do you want, Inko? Izuku asked, his tone sharp. It's Mom, she replied softly. You don't deserve to be called that after everything you did to me. He brushed her hand off his shoulder. Toshinori interjected, Son, that's not how you talk to your mother. Apologize. I'm not your son. My father was Hisashi Midoriya, not you, Izuku retorted, turning to leave. But he heard Tenya calling after him. Izuku, that's not how you talk to your parents. Apologize right now. In a flash, Izuku teleported and kicked Tenya, leaving him unconscious. He then proceeded to walk to work, handing the keys to Fuyumi, who took Eri to Izuku's apartment. Wani-chan, give us the keys, Shota said. No. Izuku entrusted them to me, Fuyumi replied before leaving. Arriving at work, Izuku changed into his work clothes and began his tasks. A week passed, and Izuku took his daughter to UA for the sports festival. He entered the school, and Eri went to kindergarten while he headed to his class. After lessons, Izuku and his classmates followed Vlad's directions to the 1B locker room, where they changed into their gym outfits. Izuku put on a pair of briefs with a hole for his tail and prepared for the day. Setsuna and the other girls approached him. Can I help you with something? He asked. We were wondering if we could touch your tail, Setsuna said. Izuku hesitated but eventually allowed them to play with his tail, which was smooth and fluffy. So fluffy. What kind of tail do you have, Izuku? Ibra asked. I'm a jackal. Don't worry, I don't bite, he assured them. Nairenjiki then asked, Izuku, I'm curious. What will happen if you take the inhibitor rings off? The end of the world. I can't control the power yet, Izuku replied. What kind of power is that? Nito inquired. The power of the Phantom Ruby, Chaos Emeralds, and Emistar Emerald, Izuku explained. What are those? Jirota asked. 9 powerful gems. The Phantom Ruby is here, he said, showing the gem embedded in his chest, and it can't be removed. The Chaos Emeralds? I don't have them, but their power flows through me, just like the Emistar Emerald. With their power, I become the second infinite. What do you mean, second infinite? Toguro asked. There was another infinite before me, but he only had another Phantom Ruby. Both of us were created by the same man. The first infinite was evil and was stopped, Izuku clarified. All of 1B nodded, preparing for the sports festival. As Izuku went to grab something to eat, he encountered his past. Ugh, he thought, spotting Koda, All Might and Xtreme. Inko approached him. Izuku, I don't want to hear anything from you. And it's Mugen, he interrupted. Izuku, stop making these fake names. Leave 1B and transfer to US. And get rid of that cursed child. Tenya shouted. Suddenly, a blue sword appeared next to Tenya's neck. They turned to see Technoblade. What did you say about my niece? Technoblade demanded. Technoblade don't. It's not worth it, a man in a green hood and white mask said. It was none other than the Vigilante Dream. Technoblade lowered his sword and approached Izuku, followed by Dream. Are you okay, Izuku? Dream asked. I'm fine. They forget how I dealt with them before, Izuku replied. You got lucky. Next time I'm gonna crush you. Katsuki yelled. Always the same, Izuku muttered. Hey, don't call my brother that way, Aiken. Katsumi protested. I can call him whatever I want. And don't forget this, when I fought you, I was holding back, Izuku said confidently. You're bluffing, Shota challenged. Nope. He showed them the inhibitor rings. These limit my power. If I take them off, I'll be unstoppable, but I can't control my power yet. You can't be that powerful, Toshinori said. Yes, he is, Dream affirmed. We saw his power when he removed the rings from his wrists. Even with me and Technoblade combined, we were no match for him. After the Vigilante trio left, Izuku picked up Eri and asked Fuyumi if she could take care of her. Fuyumi agreed and took Eri with her. Izuku grabbed something to eat and returned to his class, preparing for the sports festival. The festival began with an obstacle course, and all the students lined up at the starting line. Izuku noticed Shoto and Shoka's expressions. Yup, they're going to freeze the floor, he thought. Start! Mike announced. Shoto and Shoka froze the ground, but Izuku easily broke through the ice. Chaos control, he exclaimed, moving outside of time and appearing at the finish line. What the? Mugen is already at the finish line? How is this possible? Mike shouted. Eraserhead explained, he already told us. He has the ability to move outside of time. Then it's settled. Mugen wins the obstacle course. Mike declared. During the Robot Inferno, Momo remarked, I forgot he could do that. How dare you be stronger than me? Katsuki yelled as others crossed the finish line. Izuku secured his 10 million points thanks to his 10 clones, 3 for the cavalry battle and 7 for defense. No one managed to get past them. Now it was time for the battle part. The first match was Izuku Mugen vs Hitoshi Shinso. Welcome to the battle tournament. On the left, we have the Jackal of 1B, Izuku Mugen, the announcer proclaimed. And on the right, we have the ace of the general course, Hitoshi Shinso. Both ready? Midnight asked, and they nodded. Begin, she shouted. Hitoshi remarked, it must be wonderful to be blessed with such a powerful quirk. You can move outside of time and do many things, unlike me with my villainous quirk. Izuku remained silent, using his telekinesis to lift Hitoshi out of the arena. Shinso is out. The winner is Mugen. Midnight announced. Izuku walked over to Hitoshi. Sorry for using my telekinesis on you. None taken. Sorry for being a JRK. This was the only way to make you talk, Hitoshi replied. It's okay. I understand how it feels to be treated like an outcast. How do you think I got this scar over my right eye? Izuku shared. Oh, Hitoshi said, realizing. Yeah. I didn't have a great life, Izuku added. Both fighters exited the arena. Izuku sat in his room, waiting for the next match against Shota. As he walked through the halls, he encountered his uncle Endeavor. Uncle? Izuku called. Hey, Izuku, Endeavor replied, pulling him into a hug. I know you know this, but can you make Shota use his fire? Endeavor asked. I'll try, Izuku promised. Time passed, and the announcer called, Welcome to another fight. On the right, we have the Jackal of 1B, Izuku Mugen. Izuku stepped into the arena, ready for the challenge ahead. And on the left, we have Cold of 1A. Shota Todoroki stepped forward, ready for the challenge. Midnight looked at both of them, ensuring they were prepared. With a nod from each, she announced the start of the match. Shota unleashed a powerful glacier of ice aimed at Izuku, who quickly countered with a chaos spear that shattered the ice. Disappointment flickered across Izuku's face as he remarked on Shoto's efforts. Shut up! Shota retorted, launching another glacier, only to see it meet the same fate. For each ice attack of yours, I'll throw a chaos spear. Come at me with everything you've got, you pathetic Scarface, Izuku challenged, his confidence unwavering. At this, Shoto's expression shifted, and flames erupted around him. Don't blame me for what will happen next, he warned. I won't. Now let's get serious. Izuku declared, activating the Phantom Ruby as the intensity of their battle escalated. Izuku shouted, Phantom Gravity, as he increased the gravity in the arena, causing Shota to fall to the ground, unable to move. With a swift kick, Izuku sent him out of the arena. Midnight announced, Todoroki is out. Mugen advances to the semi-finals. After the match, Izuku returned to his room, where his classmates praised him. That was amazing, Izuku! Kinoko exclaimed. Thanks, Izuku replied modestly. Time passed, and it was now time for Izuku's match against Katsuki. The announcer declared, Welcome to the semifinals. On the left, we have the Jackal of 1B, Izuku Mugen. And on the right, the explosion from 1A, Katsuki Bakugo. Ready? Midnight asked, and both boys nodded. Begin. Katsuki charged at Izuku, shouting, Deku. Izuku calmly responded, Chaos Control. He moved outside of time and kicked Katsuki in the head. Pathetic. Katsuki quickly got back up, angered. Stop using these cheap moves and fight seriously. Izuku smirked. How am I supposed to take you seriously if you're not putting in the effort? Fueled by rage, Katsuki launched another attack, but Izuku effortlessly dodged. "Stop dodging!" Katsuki yelled. "With pleasure," Izuku replied, countering with a series of strikes. "What's the matter, Katsuki? Can't handle a few punches? What happened to the confident fighter I know?" Katsuki fell to the ground, but as Izuku turned to the corner, Katsuki launched a sneak attack. "That's what you get for standing in my way." From the dust, Izuku's voice rang out, filled with anger. "All right, I've had enough of you." He removed his inhibitor rings, releasing a surge of power. Rugagaga. The crowd felt the immense energy radiating from him. Midnight exclaimed, "What's this?" Mugen just took off the rings from his wrists and now he's unleashing more power. Shota added, "Those rings limited his abilities. Now that they're off, he's not holding back." Izuku declared, "Chaos Blast." The attack hit Katsuki, sending him crashing into the wall, leaving him unconscious. Izuku, breathing heavily, put the rings back on his wrists. Bakugo is out of bounds. Mugen advances to the finals. Midnight announced. As the final approached, the announcer welcomed everyone. "Welcome to the final of the sport festival. On the left, we have the Jackal of 1B, Izuku Mugen. And on the right, we have the powerhouse of 1A, Izumi Yagi." Both competitors nodded at Midnight's question of readiness. "Begin." In an instant, Izuku blitzed forward, overwhelming Izumi with his speed. "Come on, Izumi. Is this all the daughter of All Might can do?" After a fierce exchange, Izumi lay on the ground, struggling to get up. "Oni-chan," she said weakly. Izuku taunted, "What happened to the Deku who called me useless?" "You're not useless," Izumi replied, finding her strength. "You care because I've surpassed you and your friends. I'm the strongest on the planet," Izuku declared confidently. "I could take on All Might and every #1 hero out there." Death Arms interjected, "You're joking. No one is more powerful than All Might." Izuku summoned his infinite outfit, stating, "I already beat him." The crowd was shocked to see such power from someone so young. He knocked Izumi out of bounds. Yagi is out of bounds. Mugen wins the sport festival. Midnight announced. Surrounded by heroes, Izuku said, "Even combined, you're no match for me." "Stay down, villain." Death Arms warned. "I suggest you stay put, Death Arms. You don't want someone like me as your enemy," Izuku replied confidently. The hero commission arrived, guns drawn. "Izukiyagi, raise your hands and surrender," one officer commanded. "For the last time, I'm Izuku Mugen. Don't act like you're some kind of saint when you threaten my uncle Nizu," he retorted. "I have no idea what you're talking about," the officer replied. "Don't lie to me. I know how you erased my existence and forced UA to accept those who made my life miserable," Izuku shot back. At that moment, the MDM president ordered her guards to fire. As bullets flew toward him, Izuku calmly said, "Chaos control." He moved outside of time, catching all the bullets and dropping them to the ground. "This happened last time you tried. As long as I have chaos control, the bullets won't affect me." The heroes were stunned by his ability. "And I suggest you stay down," he warned. "Not until you face justice," the officer insisted. "Justice? You covered for All Might," Izuku replied. "What are you talking about?" Kemi asked. "I'm All Might's stepson. My father was Hisashi Midoriya, but he died before I was born. All Might and his friends made my life a living hell just because I'm quirkless." "Wait, if you're quirkless, how did you do all of those things?" MT Lady questioned. "I have a power that can't be registered as a quirk," Izuku explained before leaving the scene. He made his infinite outfit disappear and headed back to his classmates. Suddenly, he felt arms wrap around his neck. Turning around, he saw his girlfriend, Rumi. "Hey, Rumi," he greeted. "Good to see you, my jackal," she replied warmly. "I suppose you heard what I said?" Izuku asked. "Yeah. I can't believe All Might did this to you," Rumi said, concern in her eyes. They shared a brief kiss before parting ways, unaware that Class 1A had witnessed the moment. "What do you want?" Izuku asked when they approached him. Katsumi confronted him. "I can How could you cheat on me with that rabbit? Look, Katsumi. I don't have any feelings for you or anyone from your class, so leave me alone. Izuku replied firmly. But, Izuku, that's no way to speak to one of your future wives. Apologize right now, transfer to our class, get the Yagi name back, and get rid of that coarse child. Tenya insisted. Hearing this, Izuku began to use the Phantom Ruby. Izuku increased the gravity around his classmates, causing them to fall to the ground under the immense pressure. He stood tall, a sense of power radiating from him. All of you called me weak back then, but look at me now. I'm far stronger than all of you combined. Suddenly, a familiar voice interrupted. It was All Might who commanded, "That's enough." Inko, Izuku's mother, looked concerned. Izuku, why are you attacking them? Izuku shot back, "Of course it's my fault. You always blame me for everything. And you wonder why I feel this way." Toshinori, All Might, replied, "You hurt them. It's self-defense. They started it. And don't pretend they're innocent. They're not," Izuku retorted, releasing his power but not before putting them to sleep. Just then, MDM President arrived. "You're under arrest. Raise your hands in the air." Izuku smirked defiantly. "Don't think you have any power over me." He teleported in front of her, placing his hand on her head, revealing memory. In that moment, all the memories flooded into Izuku's mind. He discovered that his father's death was not an accident. It had been orchestrated by the Hero Commission on All Might's orders. As the realization hit him, he lowered his head in shock. "Son?" Toshinori asked, concern in his voice. In a flash of anger, Izuku punched Toshinori. "How dare you ask them to kill my father? You're supposed to be a hero. Why would you do that?" Inko, though not surprised, felt a wave of fear wash over her as she witnessed Izuku's fury. What was the reason for doing that? Izuku demanded. MDM President replied coldly, "Your father, Hisashi Midoriya, was nominated to be the next symbol of peace, but he wasn't worthy of the title." Izuku's anger boiled over. "You killed him because he could rival this man?" He pointed at Toshinori. "Yes. He wasn't worthy to be the next symbol of peace," she confirmed. In a fit of rage, Izuku grabbed her collar and began to strike her repeatedly before finally dropping her to the ground. "I should end you right now, but that would be too easy. I will dismantle the society you and the Hero Commission created, expose all the heroes you protected, and when you beg for mercy, I will decide your fate." He teleported outside, flying high into the sky to release his pent-up anger. Rurgergiga. You All Might. Later, he arrived at a news broadcast, changing into his infinite outfit. He teleported into the middle of the broadcast. "Greetings, everyone. I am Infinite, and I want to show you something." He revealed the memories he had obtained from MDM President, showing the conspiracy behind his father's death. The footage displayed Toshinori and MDM President discussing their plans to eliminate Hisashi. As the shocking truth unfolded, the audience gasped. Salamander was killed by them. "And Salamander was my father," Izuku declared, removing his mask. "I am Izuku Mugen. I changed my name for personal reasons. But now, I'm done with heroes. Hear this, All Might and the Hero Commission. From this day on, I vow to take down every false hero." With that, he teleported away, determined to seek justice. He found Eri and entrusted her to Mirko for safekeeping, informing her that the Todoroki family would help care for Eri without the twins knowing. At the villain's hideout, All for One acknowledged him. "So it is you, grandson." Since Infinite revealed the truth about All Might and the Hero Commission, public opinion shifted. Many citizens began to lose faith in heroes, some even claiming that Infinite was a better hero than the rest. At the Hero Commission, Endeavor confronted MDM President. "You did what?" "We erased his existence and killed his father to keep All Might as the symbol of peace," she replied. Endeavor was furious. "Hisashi was a good friend. Izuku is just like him. You had no right to do this." A Hero Commission employee defended their actions. "We did what was necessary. The people need a strong symbol, not someone like Salamander." You could have taken Hisashi's license and blacklisted Izuku from every hero school, but you chose this, Endeavor shot back. MDM President coldly stated, we erased his existence. From our perspective, Izuku Yagi never existed. We never anticipated that he would become infinite. I hope you get what you deserve, Endeavor said, turning to leave. Where are you going? You're supposed to protect us, the employee called after him. My job is to protect civilians, not those who betray them. I hope Izuku comes for you, Endeavor replied. In that moment, Infinite appeared. Don't worry, Uncle. I will. The Hero Commission pointed their weapons at him, but Infinite, in clone form, reassured them. I'm just a clone here to deliver a message. I will make you suffer. He approached Endeavor and hugged him. Thank you for everything. Endeavor embraced him back. You're welcome, Izuku. The clone then vanished, leaving Infinite to patrol the city. He soon encountered a hero from MDM President's memory, a man who had committed terrible acts. I know who you are, Sorahiko Atsuji, a Metal Fist. Your time ends here, Infinite declared. Metal Fist attempted to intimidate him, but Infinite easily dodged his attack. Pathetic, he remarked before striking him down. As he prepared to deliver justice, Infinite summoned a sword. This is for all the innocent lives you harmed. He raised the defeated hero's head for all to see, declaring, Look at this, MDM President. All the heroes you protected will meet the same fate. With that, he teleported away, leaving the shocked onlookers behind. Continuing his flight, Infinite encountered Kurogyri, who had a message for him. My Monsieur wants to talk to you. Infinite followed him through a portal, where he met All for One once again. Good to see you again. Grandson. Infinite looked on, intrigued. AFO looked at Izuku with a serious expression. I know that you're confused, but it's true. Hisashi Midoriya was my son. And that makes you my grandson. Izuku, still skeptical, questioned, How do I know you're not lying? AFO pulled out a picture from his pocket, showing a younger version of himself alongside Hisashi. Izuku's eyes filled with tears as he removed his mask, revealing his emotional state. Why didn't you save him? Izuku cried. I was ready to save him, but All Might was after me. Even now, I hate myself for letting my son die, FO admitted, his voice heavy with regret. Izuku lowered his head, overwhelmed with sadness. AFO stepped forward and embraced him. Let it out. Izuku cried on AFO's chest for a moment before pulling away. Better? AFO asked gently. Yes. Thanks, Grandpa, Izuku replied, wiping his eyes. Anytime, grandson, FO said with a small smile. Izuku took a deep breath, preparing for what he was about to do. Now, what I'm going to do might be weird. He concentrated, channeling his powers into his hands. Supreme healing, he declared as he placed his arms on AFO. The healing energy enveloped AFO, restoring him to his prime. Thanks, grandson, AFO said, visibly rejuvenated. No problem, Izuku replied, though he looked weary. This move drains me a lot. I'm going to leave now. I'm sorry, but I won't join you, Grandpa. I want to have vengeance on the Hero Commission and All Might. And nobody is going to stop me. Please understand. I understand, grandson. But when you're about to confront them, let them know it's also from me, FO said, his tone serious. You got it, Grandpa, Izuku affirmed before putting his mask back on and teleporting away. Take care, Izuku, FO called after him. Izuku arrived at his girlfriend's house, where his daughter, Eri, came running towards him. Papa, she exclaimed. He caught her in his arms and hugged her tightly. Hey, Snowball, he said affectionately, then turned to his girlfriend. Woof. Hey, my jackal, Rumi greeted with a smile. You're looking good, Izuku complimented her. Thanks. Eri, do you want to go with your uncle Touya? Rumi asked. Eri's face lit up. Yay! Rumi called Touya, who arrived quickly, along with Fuyumi. As they left, Rumi hugged Izuku from behind, resting her chin on his shoulder. How about we have some fun? She suggested. You got it, Izuku replied, a playful smile on his face. Later, after spending time together, They shared a tender moment, exchanging morning greetings and kisses. After a shower and breakfast, Izuku prepared to leave, donning his infinite outfit before teleporting away. Meanwhile, during his patrol, Infinite spotted a truck that was speeding uncontrollably. He flew towards it, speaking to the driver. "What are you doing?" "I lost control. I can't slow down," the driver shouted in panic. "I'll try to slow it down," Infinite replied, flying back to grab the truck from behind, attempting to slow it down. Just then he saw Hawks approaching. "Hawks!" Infinite called out. "What are you doing?" Hawks asked, assessing the situation. "I'm trying to slow it down. Get the driver out," Infinite instructed. Hawks nodded and quickly removed the driver from the vehicle. With the driver safe, Infinite managed to bring the truck to a stop before it could harm anyone. Exhausted, he collapsed to the ground. Blue Nova arrived on the scene and noticed Infinite lying there. As he picked him up to leave, a familiar voice shouted, "What are you doing with that villain?" Touya stepped in, defending Infinite. "This villain just saved over 100 lives. Give him to me," All Might demanded. Touya stood firm. "And what? To make his life a living hell again? Never. He deserves to be happy." The crowd began to rally behind Infinite, throwing objects at All Might in protest. "Leave Infinite alone. He's a true hero unlike you," one citizen shouted. Seeing the opportunity, Blue Nova took off with Infinite, landing on a rooftop where he gently placed him down. Endeavor and Blizzard soon joined them. "Blue Nova, what are you doing with Infinite?" Blizzard asked, concern in her voice. "He collapsed from exhaustion after stopping that truck," Touya explained. As Infinite began to regain consciousness, he put his mask back on and thanked them for their help. "Thanks for helping me," Touya smiled. "No problem." Blizzard embraced Infinite, and he returned the hug. "Thank you, Auntie, for everything." "To all of you." After the hug, Infinite prepared to leave. "Now I'm going. Take care." "Take care, nephew," Endeavor called out as Infinite teleported away. Resuming his patrol, Infinite helped people in need, assisting the elderly and rescuing cats from trees. A young boy thanked him, and Infinite smiled, happy to help. However, he soon heard a voice he dreaded. "You?" Katsuki shouted, approaching with others from his past. "It's Infinite. What do you want?" he replied, annoyance creeping into his tone. "We're going to bring you home," Xtreme said. "That isn't my home. You just want your punching bag and stress relief toy," Infinite retorted. "Please, Oni-chan. It's not too late. Surrender, and we can make it up to you," Izumi pleaded. "You had 8 years. In that time, you made my life a living hell." "So no," Infinite replied firmly. "But we love you," Katsuki insisted. "And I don't. I already have a girlfriend who knows how to make me happy," Infinite said, making it clear where he stood. All Might interjected, "That's it, young man. You're going to return to us this instant." Infinite shot back, "You're not my father. My father is Hisashi, the one who you and the Hero Commission killed. And I'm going to return the favor." Infinite punched All Might in the face, knocking him out. "Leave me alone," he shouted before teleporting away. At Class 1B, Kinoko sighed, "I missed Izuku." Yosetsu nodded in agreement. "Me too. He was a great guy." Sen added, "Yeah, but I understand why he leaves." Juzo remarked, "Who would have thought that All Might would do such a thing?" Itsuka replied, "Yeah, but we all miss him." Just then, Infinite appeared, and Itsuka asked, "Who are you missing?" "Our classmate, Izuku," she replied. They turned to see Infinite take off his mask. "Miss me?" Izuku grinned. The entire Class 1B rushed to hug him, and he returned the embrace, his tail wagging with happiness. "It's good to see you again, Izuku," Kuroda said. "You too," Izuku replied, and they began to talk about what had happened. The mood turned somber when they learned about his father's passing. "I'm sorry for your loss, Izuku," Kinoko said, tears welling in her eyes. Seeing her distress, Izuku gently patted her head. "It's all right. It wasn't any of your fault." Kinoko felt comforted, and Izuku's smile made the girls blush. Nito asked, "So, are you and Mirko dating? Yeah, Izuku confirmed. The girls exchanged glances, wondering if she would share him. Now I'm going to leave, Izuku said. Wait, I want to ask a question. Kinoko exclaimed. What do you think about my hero costume? I tried modeling, but I don't know if I have what it takes. She handed him a photo. Izuku looked at the photo and said, You look appealing, both inside and out. All of you. The girls beamed at his compliment. Now I'm leaving, but don't worry. We'll meet again. With that, he teleported to Mirko's house. Rumi, we need to talk, he said upon arrival. About what? She asked. He explained his conversation with his classmates and showed her the photo. I think they all like me. Then so be it. I'm willing to share with them if they prove worthy. But don't forget that I'm the alpha, Mirko replied. I will never forget, Izuku assured her. Good. Now, how about another night of fun, she suggested. Your wish is my command, he said, picking her up in a bridal carry as they headed to the bedroom. The next day, Izuku woke up early, making breakfast for Rumi and Eri. Afterward, he changed into his infinite outfit and went patrolling. He stopped mid-flight when he saw an apartment building about to collapse. People inside began to panic, but just as it seemed the building would crash, it stopped, enveloped in a red aura. Good thing I was here, Infinite said, straining to hold the building up. Darn it, he exclaimed as police and firefighters arrived. Infinite, what are you doing here? An officer asked. Smoking a cigarette. What do you think I do? He replied sarcastically. How long can you hold for the firefighters to evacuate everyone? The officer inquired. I'll try to hold as much as I can, Infinite said, and the officer nodded as firefighters rushed inside. All Might and Xtreme soon arrived. Upon seeing Infinite, All Might charged at him. What are you doing? You're helping a villain, he shouted. The officer intervened. This villain is holding an entire building. Attack him, and the lives inside will be at risk. But All Might seemed deaf to reason and continued his charge until a voice called out, Heads up! A punch sent All Might crashing into a wall. Infinite turned to see Knuckles. What are you doing here? Infinite asked. Sonic and the others came to check on you. And by the looks of it, you need help, Knuckles replied. You're right. I'm holding this building that's about to crash. But I'm not sure how long I can hold it. Another voice chimed in, I'll help you with that. Infinite turned to see Silver. You're here too? He asked. Yes. Now let me help you, Silver said, using his telekinesis to assist in holding the building. After some time, the firefighters managed to evacuate everyone. Infinite and Silver gently lowered the building. You two go, I can handle the rest, Infinite said as they nodded and left. As Infinite prepared to leave, Xtreme called out, Where are you going? All Might shouted, Young man, that's no way to talk to your mother. Apologize. With a smirk, Infinite teleported away and resumed his patrol in Hosu. Later that night, while patrolling, Infinite spotted Stain and Izumi, Shota, Shoka, and Tenya on the ground with the hero native. Time to die. Stain declared, ready to attack Tenya, but he was suddenly restrained by Infinite. Stain, you and I are very much alike, Infinite said. Stain's eyes widened. Infinite, I've been waiting for you. A true hero. The one who will end me. However, Infinite didn't want to prolong the fight, so he trapped Stain in a cube. He then approached Native, placing a hand on him. Unbounding healing, he declared, healing Native, who stood up. Thanks, Infinite. But why don't you heal them too? Native asked. I have a history with them, Infinite replied. Bad, Native said. You have no idea, Infinite muttered before slipping away. As the heroes arrived, Gran Torino scolded Izumi for not listening. Taking the opportunity to leave, Infinite dealt with a Nomu that had come to capture Izumi and knocked out Stain, who whispered, You're a true hero, Infinite. Later, Infinite stood on a building with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Amy, Silver, Blaze, and Rouge. So, what are you guys doing here? He asked. We came to see how you're doing, Sonic replied. We were worried about you, Tails added. Thanks guys. I'm doing great, Infinite said. Amy inquired, What about Eri? She's with my girlfriend, Infinite answered. You have a girlfriend? Silver asked. Yeah. Her name is Rumi, but you know her as Mirko, Infinite explained. Yeah, you introduced her when we met, Sonic recalled. We're leaving now, but don't be sad. We'll visit you anytime, Tails promised. I'll be waiting for that, Infinite said as Tails opened a portal to Mobius and they departed. Infinite resumed his patrol. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Izumi, Tenya, and the Todoroki twins lay in their beds. I'm sorry for dragging you into this mess, Tenya said. It's okay, Tenya. But don't do something like that again, Izumi replied. Yeah. We barely escaped, Shota added. If it wasn't for Aizu-chan, we would have been in serious trouble, Shoka said. I knew it, Oni-chan still cares about us, Izumi smiled. Suddenly, a clone of Infinite appeared. Who said that I cared for you? He said. Don't try anything. I'm just a clone. I'm here to tell you something. What? Shota asked. I didn't save you because I care for you. I did this because if you die, I won't take my revenge. You make my life a living hell, and you think that I will forgive you. Infinite's clone declared. Ooh, Shoka started, but Infinite's clone interrupted. Quiet. I'm going to take my revenge on you, and no one can stop me, Infinite declared. Shota challenged him. Then what are you waiting for? Do it right here and now. No, Infinite replied. That would be the easy way out. None of you deserve that. I'm going to return the favor by making your lives a living hell. And judging by how people feel about All Might now, it will be easy. With that he vanished, leaving them in shock and fear. Izumi spoke up. He really hates us. Just then Endeavor arrived. Can you blame him? He asked. Dad, Shoka interjected. I'm with Izuku here. You did make his life a living hell. Anyway, he told me he won't kill you, but will make your lives a living hell. So, enjoy your life for now. With that he left. Meanwhile, Infinite arrived at the home of a member of the Hero Commission. He left the family alone, knowing they were innocent. He entered the man's room, summoned some knives, and threw them at him. Then he summoned a katana and left a chilling reminder of his visit. After that, he used revealing memory to capture the man's memories and record them. He took the head and placed it on a pillar in the center of the city. The next day, everyone was horrified by the sight of the head with a camera in its mouth. At the Yagi residence, Toshinori was speechless. He recognized the man as someone who had covered for Izuku. He started, he murmured. Inko was in tears, realizing the consequences of their actions and knowing that Izuku would come for them. Infinite then visited Rumi's house. As he entered, Rumi jumped up and hugged him tightly. I missed you, my jackal, she said. I missed you too, my rabbit, Izuku replied. So, you started to take down those who made your life difficult? Rumi asked. Yes, but I won't harm my past, Izuku explained. Why not? She inquired. Because that would be the easy way out. They don't deserve it, he said. I understand, she replied. By the way, where's Eri? She's playing with one of my maids, Rumi answered. Izuku nodded and took a seat on the couch. If you want, we can have some fun later, Rumi suggested with a smile. When it's night, Izuku agreed, and they resumed watching the news. Rumi had already agreed for Izuku to spend time with the girls from Class 1B, but they needed to prove themselves first. Infinite was on his patrol, helping elderly people cross the street, assisting kids walking dogs for money, and carrying boxes for those moving. Thanks, Infinite, one man said. No problem, Infinite replied, ready to leave when an old lady stopped him. Wait a minute, young man. You can't go on an empty stomach. Here, have some apple pie, she offered. Thanks, nice lady. But I don't know if I can eat the whole pie by myself, he said, glancing at the men he had helped. Since we worked hard, why don't we share this delicious pie made by this nice lady? Infinite suggested. Yeah, they all agreed, sitting down on the stairs of the house. As they enjoyed the pie, one man said, Thanks for the pie, Infinite. Don't mention it. I'm always willing to help people, he replied. You've shown everyone that you're a better hero than All Might, another man remarked. Yeah, he just fights villains. You, on the other hand, help more, a third added. Thanks, but don't forget that villains aren't born, they're created by others, Infinite explained. What do you mean? One man asked. Take a look at me. I was abused, tormented, bullied, neglected, the list goes on. If I had fallen into despair, I could have become a villain. Now think about someone with a quirk that allows mind control. People would label him a villain and treat him poorly, leading him down the same path, Infinite elaborated. I see. A quirk like that would be useful for gathering information, another man said. Soon, the pie was finished, and Infinite stood up. I'll take my leave. Good luck, Infinite, they called as he put his mask back on and took to the skies. As he resumed his patrol, a cannonball flew toward him. Chaos Spear, he shouted, destroying it. He turned to see Momo with a cannon beside her. You thought that would hurt or stop me? He asked. No, but this can. Now. Momo commanded, and ropes wrapped around him. As he attempted to fly, purple balls stuck to his legs, preventing him from escaping. Shoji, Sato, Mashiaro, Fumikage, Ejiro, and Hanta joined in, holding him with ropes and tape. More members of Class 1A arrived, along with All Might and Xtreme. Well, if it isn't the group from 1A and their teachers, Infinite remarked. That's no way to talk to your parents and friends, Izuku, Xtreme replied. First, it's Infinite. Second, you're not my parents. And if you think this can hold me, you're mistaken, Infinite retorted. That's it, son. Stop this nonsense and come back home. All Might shouted. I'm not your son. You killed my father to become number 1. A title you don't deserve, Infinite shot back. Please, Oni-chan. Give us a chance to redeem ourselves, Izumi pleaded, sadness in her eyes. Izuku, that's no way to talk to your sister. Apologize and get rid of that power. Tenya demanded. If I don't deserve it, then who does? Infinite challenged. That power should go to All Might, Deku. You don't deserve it. Katsuki yelled. Infinite laughed, sending chills through the group. Him? Worthy of my powers? That's a good joke. Giving him my powers would only boost his ego. None of you are worthy. With a sudden burst of strength, he broke free from the ropes, leaving everyone in shock. You're all pathetic. Even combined, you're no match for me. Katsuki charged at Infinite. Do you? Infinite effortlessly dodged and countered, Chaos Control. He moved outside of time, kicking Katsuki back again. Really? The same move again? That's the third time. You never learn. Infinite used the Phantom Ruby and declared, Phantom Gravity. Suddenly, everyone found themselves on the ground as the gravity increased. He continued, I could end this right now, but that would be too easy. None of you deserve that. So, enjoy your life, it will be hard. With that, he teleported away. As the gravity returned to normal, everyone stood up. Momo asked, Is everyone okay? Shota replied, We're fine. Xtreme added, We lost him again. AM reassured them, Don't worry. We'll find him and bring him back. And we'll be in a quirk marriage with all of you. The 1A girls cheered, Yeah. Tenya declared, I'm going to lecture him for doing this to us. They discussed their plans to save Izuku, their determination unwavering despite the challenges ahead. The day had started normally. Infinite was on his patrol, helping people, and the crowd cheered his name with joy. Infinite! Infinite! Suddenly, a soda can was thrown at him, but he caught it with his telekinesis. The crowd turned to see a kid, no older than 13, with an angry expression. Infinite asked, Do I need to know why you did this? The kid replied, Because you're a villain. You ruined All Might, who is the greatest hero. Infinite countered, That man is no hero. He is nothing but someone who abused his power. He thinks he's the strongest in the world. The kid insisted, Because he can save everyone. Infinite challenged, Even the quirkless? The kid responded, The quirkless are just a burden. They need to be removed. In that moment, the crowd looked at the kid with disdain. Infinite spoke up, And you wonder why there are villains? They're not born, they're created. This society is rotten to the core. The pushes. innocent people to become villains. Look at me. I'm the result of All Might's neglect. If I wanted to be a villain, no one would stand in my way. With that, Infinite took to the skies, leaving the crowd behind. They no longer paid attention to the boy. As Infinite flew away, he dodged a punch from All Might. "How many times do I have to defeat you?" he taunted. All Might shouted, "You have nowhere to run." Soon, Infinite found himself surrounded by those he least wanted to face. Katsuki confronted Infinite, declaring that there was nowhere for him to escape. Infinite retorted with annoyance, while Momo insisted they were going to make him see reason. Izumi, pleading with her brother, urged him to surrender so they could make amends. However, Infinite dismissed her, referencing a troubling truth about One for All and its toll on Izumi's life. Confusion spread among the group as Mina questioned Infinite's words. Infinite laughed at their ignorance, revealing that One for All was draining Izumi's life force with each use. Shota challenged him, asserting that Izumi couldn't die since her father had held the quirk for decades. Infinite pointed out the crucial difference between Izumi and Toshinori, explaining that Toshinori had been born quirkless, while Izumi was not. As they processed this information, Infinite used an analogy of a cup to illustrate his point about Izumi's quirk and One for All. He warned that if she continued to use it, she would ultimately perish. Panic set in as Mina urged the group to save Izumi, while Ejiro suggested they return All Might's quirk to him. Infinite coldly informed them that the timer had started when Toshinori passed the quirk to Izumi, leaving her with only 3 years to live. Katsuki, enraged, accused Infinite of being jealous of Izumi's dual quirks. Infinite countered, claiming his power was far superior, as he had the ability to alter reality. The group was stunned by this revelation, but Infinite admitted he couldn't fully control it. Izumi, overwhelmed by the shocking news of her fate, began to hyperventilate and eventually fainted. Katsuki, furious, attacked Infinite, demanding to know how he could speak to Izumi that way. Infinite denied any familial connection, teleporting away and leaving behind a chilling ultimatum. There were only 2 ways to save Izumi. The first involved his grandfather, whom Inko realized was a figure from their past. Infinite revealed his lineage, shocking everyone with the truth that he was All for One's grandson. As the tension escalated, Infinite accused All Might of causing his family's suffering, recalling a tragic incident that had resulted in the loss of his grandmother. All Might, grappling with guilt, attempted to reach out to Infinite, but was met with hostility. Inko was left speechless, unable to explain her past choices. Tsuyu then inquired about the second way to save Izumi. Infinite mentioned the power of the Chaos Emeralds, gems that held immense power. Katsuki urged Infinite to act quickly, but Infinite coldly refused, expressing a longing to see Izumi suffer. Tenya demanded that Izuku help his sister, but Infinite reiterated that she was not his sister and that he was beyond their control. As Katsuki charged at him, Infinite caught him effortlessly and threw him from the building, but All Might swooped in to save him just in time. Infinite taunted them, leaving with a final warning about Izumi's limited time. The group was left feeling defeated, grappling with the reality of Izumi's fate. Ejiro expressed disbelief, while Katsuki insisted Infinite was lying. Suddenly, a ball of energy emerged from Izumi, transforming into a woman in a white cape, Nana, a figure from All Might's past. Nana confronted All Might, expressing her anger over the consequences of his actions, which had led to Izumi's predicament. Momo realized that Infinite had not been bluffing, and Nana explained the truth about One for All and its effects on those who already possessed quirks. They needed to find Izuku and convince him to use his powers to save Izumi, but doubts lingered about whether he would help after everything that had happened. Nana's words weighed heavily on Inko, reminding her of the love and care she had received in her youth. With that, she vanished, leaving the group to ponder their next steps. Meanwhile, Infinite soared above the city, taking in the view before heading to meet Shota and Nizu, who awaited him on a rooftop. Since 1A and 1B were preparing for the practical exams, they would be facing off against the teachers. Infinite mentioned that while he could assist, Technoblade and Dream were currently on a mission to apprehend drug dealers involved with a dangerous substance known as Trigger. He expressed confidence in their safety and turned the conversation back to the upcoming exams. Both classes and the teachers gathered at the gate of Fake City. Momo asked why the teachers were present, to which Nizu explained that the final exam would involve a battle against them. The students exchanged nervous glances as they prepared for the challenge. As the matchups were announced, Katsuki expressed his eagerness to prove himself. Nizu reminded him to tone down his enthusiasm, revealing that Infinite would be his opponent. Infinite appeared beside the teachers, removing his mask to greet 1B warmly, receiving hugs from his friends. Kinoko and Yosetsu expressed how much they missed him, and Infinite reassured them of his friendship. When Infinite approached 1A, Izumi called out to him, but he corrected her, stating his name was Infinite, not her brother. Katsuki intervened, defending Izumi and vowing to defeat Infinite. Infinite explained the situation regarding Izumi's quirk, one for all, and the potential dangers it posed to her. Eraserhead, concerned, confronted All Might about the implications of his actions. Infinite revealed that he could potentially remove the curse from One for All using powerful artifacts. Nizu encouraged everyone to prepare for battle. As Infinite moved to join the teachers, he was confronted by 1A, who expressed their regret for past actions. Infinite firmly stated he had moved on and was now in a relationship with Mirko. In the observation room, the teachers and students watched as Xtreme approached Infinite, calling him by a name he rejected. Their tense exchange highlighted the strained relationship between them, with Infinite asserting that his favorite hero was Eraserhead, not Xtreme. As the final matches concluded, it was time for Infinite to face off against 1A. Katsuki shouted for Infinite, eager to confront him. Infinite, radiating power, reminded Katsuki of their previous encounters and declared that luck had nothing to do with it. With a determined look, he activated the Phantom Ruby, ready to make the battle even more exciting. 20 clones of Infinite appeared, ready for battle. As the fight began, one by one, the heroes fell to the clones. Tsuyu, Toru, Rikido, Yuga, and Mina were taken down by phantom gravity, while the others succumbed to chaos energy attacks. Only Katsuki, Katsumi, Shoka, Shoto, and Izumi remained standing. Infinite smirked, noting, "Looks like only you 5 are left." Izumi called out, "Oni-chan." Infinite snapped back, "I'm not your brother." He dashed forward, delivering a powerful punch that sent her crashing into the wall. He easily dodged Katsuki's right hook, taunting him, "Again with that? You're just a one-trick idiot." Katsuki shouted, "Shut up, dead. Once I have my hands on you, you're dead." Infinite grew impatient. "I get tired of this. Chaos control." He moved outside of time, swiftly incapacitating them before vanishing. As the battle concluded, Infinite remarked, "Pathetic. Shadow could defeat you with one hand tied behind his back." Later, Infinite entered the observation room, where he was praised by Class 1B. Yosetsu exclaimed, "That was awesome," and Taguru added, "You're really strong, especially with that chaos control ability." Infinite thanked them and turned his attention to the girls. Rumi said she'll share as long as you prove you're worthy and that she'll be the alpha. The girls from 1B were excited by this news. Izuku, feeling bold, removed his mask and shared kisses with each girl. Itsuka, Setsuna, Reiko, Ibara, Pony, and Yui. However, Kinoko hesitated. "What's wrong, Kinoko?" Izuku asked. "I don't know if I'm good enough. I have a weak quirk," she admitted. "Don't say that. You have one of the greatest quirks. You can create any type of mushrooms, right?" he encouraged. Kinoko nodded, "Yeah. Then you'll be an awesome hero. You can create mushrooms for medicine and food, helping people in need," Izuku said, inspiring her. Kinoko's eyes lit up. "You're right. I'm going to be a hero that helps people." With newfound confidence, she leaned in and kissed Izuku, who embraced her back. After their moment, Izuku returned to class, wearing his uniform, which had a hole in the back for his tail. The lessons were straightforward for him, as he had been taught by Eggman and now had an IQ comparable to Nizu. The teachers were astonished by his quick answers in math, chemistry, and physics. Ectoplasm asked, "Mugen, How are you so smart? Izuku replied, remember Eggman? He didn't want his ultimate weapon to be dumb, so he taught me. Ectoplasm was shocked, realizing Izuku might be smarter than Nizu. The school day ended with the ringing of the bell. An announcement came over the intercom, requesting Izuku to present himself to the principal's office. Class 1B accompanied him, anticipating potential trouble from Class 1A. As expected, they were confronted by Class 1A. Izumi called out, Oni-chan, but Izuku ignored her. Katsuki shouted, Oh, Deku. Don't you dare ignore Izumi. Izuku remained silent, prompting Katsuki to charge at him. Daidikeyu. With a flick of his wrist, Izuku used his telekinesis to halt Katsuki midair. Not only are you an idiot, but you're also arrogant. Who are you to boss me around? Denki intervened. Izuku, we know what we did was stupid, but… Izuku cut him off. What you did was beyond stupidity. Mistakes are one thing, but what you did was unacceptable. Izumi pleaded, please, Oni-chan. We know the pain you went through. Izuku challenged her, and what do you know about pain, Izumi? Silence followed as he continued, do you have white hair from torture? Do you have a scar over your eye because a sibling threw a broken bottle at you? Were you bullied by those you called friends? Were you kidnapped and used for experiments? Do you have a body full of scars? And you dare to say you know my pain? All of this is nothing but lies, Izumi. Katsuki struggled to free himself, shouting, Ginyu, Deku. Release me so I can beat you. Before he could finish, Izuku used his telekinesis to slam him against the wall repeatedly, leaving him unconscious. Tenya shouted, Izuku, that's no way to treat your friend. Apologize right now. Izuku responded, okay, I'm tired of your voice. He snapped his fingers, causing Tenya's mouth to disappear temporarily. Finally, some peace and quiet, Izuku said, relieved. Mina asked, what did you do? I altered reality to make his mouth disappear. It will return tomorrow as a lesson for him, Izuku explained. Katsumi chimed in, but I love you. You're supposed to be with me, not that rabbit. Izuku firmly stated, I told you I don't have feelings for you. Now move before I alter reality and take away your quirks. Itsuka remarked, how can you bully him? You lost your chance to be with him. Setsuna added, he's a real man. He didn't hold back against us last night. Class 1B understood the implications, while Class 1A felt a mix of sadness and anger. Izumi exclaimed, you hurt my brother? Izuku retorted, I'm not your brother. I wanted to do it too. As the tension escalated, Izuku entered the principal's office, leaving Class 1B outside. Did you call me uncle? He asked Nizu. Yes, nephew. You're working hard as Infinite, so I'd like you to take a vacation with your daughter to Island. I've prepared tickets for you, Nizu replied. Izuku nodded. I already have tickets from winning the sports festival, but I want my friends to come along. Nizu smiled. I will see if they can join you. Thank you, uncle, Izuku said before exiting the office. Nito inquired, what did he say? Izuku replied, he wants me to go to Island for vacation. But Izuku couldn't go there alone, so he asked if they could all go together. You're my friends, he said to Kinoko, who hugged him tightly. Overwhelmed with happiness, Izuku began to wag his tail. Suddenly he sensed the presence of Sonic and the others. Sorry, but I need to go, he said, and they released him. Changing into his Infinite outfit, he teleported away. On the UA rooftop, Infinite appeared and saw Sonic and the others. Is this about the Chaos Emeralds? He asked. Yes. How did you know? Tails replied. Eggman trained me to feel the energy of others and the Chaos Emeralds. But why are they here? Infinite inquired. I suppose you don't know about Nazo? Shadow said. Nazo. Infinite echoed. He's a hedgehog born from negative chaos energy. He survived a battle with Shattuck and came here with the Chaos Emeralds, assembling the Emistar Emerald. Now he thinks we can't follow him, Knuckles explained. So, he plans to do something with them? Infinite asked. He's going to try to achieve his perfect form and conquer this world. We need help, Sonic said. You can count on me, Infinite assured them. But we need to track him down, Silver added, and together, they set off to search for Nazo. Infinite thought to himself, Nazo? Suddenly, he heard a voice. What are you thinking about? Turning around, he saw someone the same height as Sonic, wearing a similar mask and tail. He also had a phantom ruby. Who are you? Infinite asked. I'm Infinite, the other replied. I was about to ask the same question. You're the first Infinite? Infinite asked. What do you mean, first? The other Infinite responded, removing his mask. I'm Izuku Mugen. I'm the second Infinite. Izuku introduced himself. So, Eggman created a new me? The first Infinite questioned. Yeah, but he changed. What are you doing here? Izuku asked. The other Infinite took off his mask. I'm Zero the Jackal. I came here through a portal. Portal? Izuku asked. Yes. My squad died in an accident, and I'm the last survivor. While escaping from those who attacked us, I fell into a portal and arrived here. Someone named Star and Stripes found me and adopted me. I sensed Sonic and the others' energy, along with another Phantom Ruby, Zero explained. And that energy was me, Izuku realized. Yes, Zero confirmed. And you want to fight me? Izuku asked. No. I'm not going to fight. I've let go of the past. I'm trying to live a normal life. Maybe I'll become a hero in this world, Zero replied. Then I'll support your decision, Izuku said. Thanks. But I heard about your conversation with Sonic. I think you need all the help you can get to defeat Nazo, Zero added. Yeah. Izuku agreed. Time passed, and Izuku found himself on a private jet with his class. Nizu had managed to get tickets for them. Izuku handed out the tickets he won at the sports festival, giving one to Mei, who thanked him with a hug. I know you have feelings for me, Izuku said, encouraging her to prove herself to Rumi. Mei beamed and gave him a quick kiss on the lips, then he handed her a spare inhibitor ring, making her light up with joy. He also gave a ticket to Zero, who informed his mother, Kathleen, about it, and she allowed him to go. When the jet landed, Izuku and his class exited, heading to their hotel rooms. Izuku shared a room with Zero. After dropping off their luggage, they began to explore. All of them were in their hero costumes, except for Izuku, who wore his infinite outfit without the mask. They soon spotted Izumi, Ochako, Kyoka, Momo, and a girl with glasses. As soon as Izumi saw him, she ran towards him. Oni-chan. But Izuku interrupted her. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not your brother. The girl with glasses approached. Hello. I'm Melissa Shield. Nice to meet you. Hello. I'm Izuku Mugen, he replied. Why are you dressed like Infinite? Melissa asked. Because I'm Infinite. More specifically, the second Infinite, Izuku explained. Second? She asked, intrigued. Zero chimed in, yes. I'm Zero Bait, the first Infinite. It's a long story, Izuku added. Time passed again, and Izuku and his class heard explosions. They, along with 1A and Melissa, rushed to see Katsuki preparing for the battle simulator. Wow. 15 seconds. A new record, the announcer exclaimed. Katsuki spotted Izuku and charged at him. What are you doing here? Oh, shut up. Nobody cares about your ego, Izuku retorted. Katsuki's anger flared, and he looked ready to attack. Do you want to become a pinball again? Izuku warned, recalling how Katsuki had ended up in the hospital for a week after their last encounter. Ejiro suggested, Hey Izumi. Wanna try? Yes, she replied eagerly. I'll pass, Izuku said. What? Afraid? Katsuki shouted. Fine, Izuku said, rolling his eyes. Izumi went first, using full cowling combined with her telekinesis. Izuku thought, does she know she's accelerating the process of the curse? Izumi destroyed the robots in 16 seconds. So close, she said. Katsuki achieved the same result as her, while Shoto and Shoka managed 14 seconds. Now it was Izuku's turn. You can do it, Izuku, Itsuka encouraged. Show them how it's done, Izubro, Tetsu added. Ready? The announcer asked. Yes, Izuku replied confidently. Begin, the announcer shouted. Chaos control. Izuku exclaimed, moving outside of time to destroy all the robots. When time resumed, he teleported back to his class. That was boring, he said nonchalantly. You yesterday. Katsuki yelled, charging at him, but he was suddenly hit by a blue spike ball that sent him crashing into a wall. Man, you were right, Izuku. He's a rabid dog, Sonic remarked. Ejiro attempted to attack Sonic, but Knuckles intervened, saying, "Heads up," before punching Ejiro in the face, proving his strength. That felt good, Knuckles said with satisfaction. Guys, what are you doing here? Izuku asked. The energy of the Chaos Emeralds is here. There are two sources of energy, one is you, and the other we don't know, Silver explained. So, the Chaos Emeralds are here? And the MS-tier Emerald as well? Izuku asked. Yes, Shadow confirmed. Tails noticed Zero. What's he doing here? Everyone prepared to fight, but Izuku stepped in front of Zero. Stop. I'm protecting Zero. He's not evil anymore. Zero shared his past, his head bowed in sadness. I know what will make you feel better, Ami said, pulling Zero into a comforting hug. He cried and hugged her back. Better? She asked gently. Yeah, Zero replied, feeling a sense of acceptance. And so, Zero joined them. In an unknown location, Wolfram said, yes. I got everything done. Good. This time I'll have my revenge on Sonic and his friends, Nazo replied. I hope you know what to do, Nazo, Wolfram cautioned. Don't worry, I will, Nazo assured him. As the chapter came to a close, Izuku and his class prepared for the ball. Izuku wore a formal black suit, tailored to accommodate his tail. While his classmates were excited, he felt a sense of concern. He felt Nazo's energy. Izuku thought to himself, it's here. He activated his infinite outfit. Why did you put your infinite outfit on? Kinoko asked. It's here, Izuku replied. Who? Yosetsu questioned. Suddenly, the security alarm blared. Someone's infiltrating. They've taken control of security, Melissa announced. Is there a way to regain control? Izumi asked. We have to get to the top of the building, but the elevator is closed, Melissa explained. Minoru looked at Infinite and suggested, why don't you teleport us to the top? Because I can't teleport to places I haven't visited, Infinite replied. Then you're useless, Shoto said. And what can you do, cheap imitation of Scar? The villains here are nothing compared to him, Infinite shot back. Sonic chimed in, you're right. He's here. They turned around to see Sonic and the others approaching. We need to stop him before he gets too powerful, Knuckles urged. What are you talking about? Momo asked. It's none of your business. This situation is beyond you, Zero replied, also activating his infinite outfit. We need to stop him now, Infinite said. Sonic and the others nodded in agreement. Infinite flew outside and headed to the top of the building. Sonic and the others gathered around Shadow, who teleported with Infinite. Where are they going? Ibra asked. They said they need to stop him. But who? Reiko wondered. Meanwhile, Infinite was flying to the top of the building. Nazo? What plans do you have? He thought. Back with Class 1A and 1B, they separated to confront the villains. All Might and Xtreme were tied up and unable to act due to the villains holding prisoners. Infinite arrived at the top of the building, where Sonic greeted him. You're here, Sonic said. Yeah, Infinite replied. Now, prepare for a fight, Knuckles warned. Infinite sensed a strong energy and looked around, spotting the Chaos Emeralds, the Insa Emerald, and a red hedgehog, Nazo. Last, my transformation is complete. From now on, I'm perfect Nazo. This island will be your grave, Nazo declared. Infinite launched an energy blast from the Phantom Ruby, but Nazo deflected it. New foes. But I'm only interested in you, Nazo said, pointing at Infinite. What do you want from me? Infinite asked. Of all of them, you possess a power that surpasses my own. You have the Chaos Emeralds and the MS-Star Emerald's power within you, along with that power from the gem in your body, Nazo explained. Sonic and Shadow transformed into their hyper forms, and the Chaos Emeralds turned into Super Emeralds. Sonic and Shadow fused into Shattuck, while Silver also transformed into Hyper. Tails and Knuckles became Super as well. Both Infinites charged their power and created clones of Shattuck, Silver, Tails, Knuckles, and themselves. No matter how many clones you create, it won't be enough, Nazo taunted. He began to fight the clones, but despite his power, he was easily overwhelmed. I admit, you surprised me, but not for long, Nazo said as the Super Emeralds turned black, and he transformed into Hyper Nazo. Meanwhile, Izumi watched as her father struggled against Wolfram, who was using a device on himself. Infinite knew he had to stop the villain. I can't believe I'm doing this, he muttered before teleporting to their location. Wolfram prepared to attack All Might and Izumi, but his attack was thwarted by a Chaos Spear. You! Wolfram shouted as Infinite revealed his identity. Listen up. I hate you, but you need to stop him while my friends and I deal with Nazo, Izuku said, pointing at Nazo. So here, unbounding healing. He healed All Might's wounds and removed the curse on Izumi. I don't forgive you. Now go and finish the fight, he commanded before teleporting back to confront Nazo. Nazo charged an attack, forming a giant red ball of energy. Shattuck gathered rings for his attack, while Silver prepared his own. Knuckles and Tails transferred their power to Shattuck, and Infinite took off his mask. Zero channeled his power to Shattuck. Shattuck and Silver unleashed their attacks, which collided with Nazo's. Izuku realized that Nazo was more powerful, so he approached the emeralds and stood on the Emster Emerald. Tails, what are you doing? Izuku asked. I'll save you. Chaos control, he declared, using his power to restore the emerald's energy and channel it to Shattuck. Thanks, Izuku, Shattuck said, becoming more powerful and surpassing Nazo's attack. The attack engulfed Nazo, and the fight seemed over. Nazo, now in his first form, shouted, No! My transformation! This isn't over! Izuku grabbed Nazo and started to remove his inhibitor rings. What are you doing? Sonic yelled. Finish the fight, Izuku replied as he flew high into the sky. Don't do it. Silver warned. Meanwhile, All Might and Izumi finished off Wolfram. Class 1A and 1B rushed to Sonic and the others. Where's Oni-chan? Izumi asked. It's not your brother. He's up there, Shadow pointed out. They looked up to see Izuku holding Nazo as they ascended higher. Nazo struggled to escape Izuku's grasp. Idiot, do you realize this attack could kill you too? I know, but it's a sacrifice I'll make for a brighter future, Izuku replied. No, I won't let this happen. Nazo shouted. May your soul rest in peace, Nazo. Chaos Blast. Izuku unleashed his attack at full power. No! Sonic cried out. Nazo screamed as the attack consumed him, leaving nothing behind. He did it. Nazo's energy is gone, Silver said. But at what cost? Sonic asked, concern etched on his face. What are you talking about? Nito questioned. Tails explained that Izuku removed his inhibitor rings and flew with Nazo, unleashing his full power and killing him, Ejiro said. Where's Izuku? Shadow asked. Because he couldn't control his own power, his attack also killed him, Tails explained. For Class 1, it felt like a hammer to the heart. Class 1B fell to their knees, devastated by the loss of their friend. The girls began to cry for their beloved. Sonic and his friends looked down in sadness, mourning their friend. Suddenly, Zero's phantom ruby began to pulsate. What is this? Zero wondered. They looked up to see Izuku falling from the sky. Silver quickly caught him with his telekinesis and placed him gently on the ground. Tails checked Izuku's heart. He's alive. Everyone felt a wave of relief wash over them. They noticed that his outfit was torn. Knuckles healed him. He'll be fine. He just needs rest. Jirota picked Izuku up and carried him to his room. Class 1A, All Might, and Xtreme wanted to follow, but Sonic and the others stopped them. 2 days later, Izuku woke up and went to his classmates. Class 1B rushed towards him and enveloped him in a hug. Guys, I'm fine, Izuku reassured them. We know, but don't do that again, Yosetsu said. Yamada. We don't want to lose you, Sin added. Sorry for worrying you, Izuku replied, looking at the girls. Sorry for making you cry, he said. The girls playfully smacked his head before kissing him on the lips. They all headed to the ball together. Izuku was enjoying the dance with the girls, and as the music came to an end, they shared a light kiss. Last in line was Kinoko, who stepped forward to dance with him. I'm sorry for worrying you and my friends, Izuku said sincerely. You're forgiven, but don't do it again. Kinoko replied, her tone a mix of concern and affection. I'll only use it as a last resort, he assured her. As they danced, Izuku gently placed his hand on Kinoko's waist and cupped her cheek with the other. Kinoko closed her eyes, and they shared a tender kiss. The other girls watched, feeling a pang of emotion at the sight. And with that, the chapter came to a close, with only a few more left before the story reached its conclusion. Until next time. Chapter end. Izuku and his class were on a bus heading to the training camp. As Izuku slept in his chair, the rest of Class 1A kept their voices down. Izumi had recovered from her previous challenges. Momo wondered aloud how the camp would be, to which Mina replied that everyone was curious about it. After a brief time skip, the bus came to a stop. Izumi asked if this was their destination just as Izuku sensed three energies approaching. A black car pulled up and two women emerged, one dressed in red and the other in blue. Sparkling with cat-like energy, they announced themselves as the Wild Pussycats. Mina asked who they were, and Izumi explained that they were members of the rescue team. Before she could finish, Pixie Bob playfully grabbed her face, insisting she was young at heart. Izuku, amused, noted Pixie's fiery spirit. When she turned her attention to him, he teleported away, teasing her. After a few playful exchanges, Vlad urged Izuku to stop teleporting. Pixie attempted to catch him again, but Izuku created a wall, causing her to bump into it. Once Pixie recovered, Mandalay explained the rules for the camp. Ejiro called everyone back to the bus, but Izuku, already aware of what was happening, stayed behind. Shota apologized, while Vlad reminded them they were there to train. Pixie declared that the training started now, using her quirk to manipulate the ground. Mandalay confirmed that they could use their quirks, and Izuku, noticing the chaos, flew above the fray. Pixie was surprised he wasn't affected by her attack, and Izuku explained that he had anticipated her move. Shota, however, insisted he join the others. Izuku teleported down to his classmates, who were amazed to see him unharmed. Izumi asked why he had no scratches, to which he replied that he had seen Pixie's move and avoided it. He then offered to teleport them directly to the camp, but Juroda and Yosetsu insisted they wanted to improve on their own. Respecting their decision, Izuku teleported ahead to the training camp. Mandalay wondered if the others would arrive by sunset, while Pixie was unsure. When Class 1A and 1B arrived, they were surprised to find Izuku already there, looking perfectly fine. Mandalay asked how he got there so quickly, and Izuku simply said he teleported. Pixie was baffled that he had bypassed her earth monsters. Eraserhead explained that Izuku would be helping the others instead of training with them. Izuku revealed his infinite outfit, surprising everyone. As the sun began to set, Katsuki charged at him, furious that Izuku had arrived first. Izuku easily defended himself, reminding Katsuki of his strength. Shoto attempted to attack with ice, but Izuku countered effortlessly. Eraserhead intervened, telling Izuku to stop playing around. Infinite created cubes, demonstrating his power, and then healed some of the injured students. When Tenya demanded healing, Izuku playfully refused, leading to a humorous exchange. As night fell, both classes prepared for a bath. Izuku relaxed in the hot water, enjoying the moment. Yosetsu asked about his inhibitor rings, and Izuku reassured him they were resistant to water. Minoru, curious about the girl's side, was warned by Izuku not to look. After the bath, they changed and had dinner before heading to bed. Izuku struggled with brushing his tail, prompting Reiko to ask what was wrong. He explained that he usually had help from Rumi and Eri. Ibra offered assistance, but Izuku insisted on no girl things attached to his tail. As the girls helped him, Izuku sensed the energy of his classmates watching. He thanked them for their help, and they all settled down to sleep. Chapter end. Izuku summoned a rooster and placed it at the center of the training camp, instructing it to sing. Izumi and Izuku woke up to the sound of a rooster crowing. Where did that rooster come from? Izumi asked, confused. With a snap of his fingers, Izuku made the rooster disappear. Wake up, lazy bones. Time for your training. Soon, Eraserhead, Vlad, and the Pussycats arrived. Did you create a rooster to wake them up? Eraserhead inquired. Yup, Izuku replied with a grin. Smart, Vlad acknowledged. As Class 1A and 1B began their training, Izuku sat alongside the teachers and the Pussycats. They're improving their skills and quirks, he noted. Yeah, but we need to make sure that doesn't get to their heads, Eraserhead added. Mugen, can you fight them? We want to see how strong you are, Vlad suggested. I have a better idea, Izuku said as he approached the students. Listen up. The training has changed. With a flourish, he made his infinite outfit appear, complete with inhibitor rings on his wrists and ankles. You'll fight me. But you're above us. Even combined, we can't compare to you, Yosetsu protested. I know. That's why I won't attack. You have to make me remove my inhibitor rings. I'll just defend or dodge your attacks. So bring it. Ejiro charged at infinite, but a wall appeared in front of him, stopping him in his tracks. Really? This is the weakest wall I created. You're so pathetic, Elfman ripoff, Infinite taunted. Sensing an incoming attack, Infinite teleported away from Mashareo's tail. I sensed your attack. Izumi charged up one for all and prepared to strike, but Infinite dodged effortlessly. Really? Is this all All Might's daughter can do? I'm disappointed. He continued to evade everyone from classes 1A and 1B. After a while, all the students were on the ground, exhausted, while Infinite remained unscathed. You need more experience, he remarked, snapping his fingers to restore everyone. He then went to class 1B to help them. Katsuki yelled at Infinite, "Ding you, Deku. Stop holding back." You want me to stop holding back? You got it, Infinite replied, removing his inhibitor rings from his wrists. As he unleashed more power, the ground shook, and red lightning crackled around him, darkening the sky. Tell me, Katsuki, do you have any idea of the power I possess? None of you are even at 10% of my power. He put the rings back on, and everything returned to normal. Don't ever forget that, Katsushit, he warned. Later, Izuku and his class were ready to cook curry. Tagaru, do you have any fire power? Izuku asked. No, sorry. But I can do this, he replied, creating a clone of Shoto to light their grills. Once the curry was ready, they began to eat. Izuku's tail wagged with happiness until he felt someone touching it. He turned to see Pixie cuddling with his tail. Hey, what are you doing to my tail? He exclaimed. I can't resist it. It's too fluffy and smooth, Pixie admitted. Izuku pulled his tail away. Why does every girl see my tail and start to cuddle with it? Can you blame them? Reiko chimed in. I agree. Not even I can resist it, Itsuka added, cuddling with his tail. You too? Izuku asked, surprised. Hey, I want to cuddle with his tail too. Kinoko exclaimed, and soon all the girls from class 1B were gathered around him, each taking turns to cuddle his tail. Izuku sighed, I'm feeling like a dog. Meanwhile, in class 1A, Minoru remarked, Lucky. How does he have so many girlfriends? Are you serious? They like his tail. Look how they cuddle with it. I wish I had a tail like that, Denki replied. Back to Izuku, he managed to move his tail away from the girls. Nairenjiki asked, Izuku, are those inhibitor rings heavy for you? Yeah, they're pretty heavy, Izuku admitted. He went to the training camp center and removed one of the rings. Can someone hold it for me? Katsuki approached, skeptical. Like I'm going to believe you that these rings are heavy? Izuku dropped the ring, and Katsuki caught it, only to fall over with the weight. What the hell? He shouted. Only one ring weighs 100 kilograms, Izuku explained. What? Everyone gasped. I can alter them and make them heavier or lighter, he added, picking the ring back up and putting it back on his wrist. As he returned to the tables, he felt hands on his tail again. Turning around, he saw Mina cuddling with it. He quickly pulled his tail away and playfully swatted her with it. "Don't you dare touch my tail ever again," he warned. Mina held her cheek, which had turned red from the playful slap, and returned to her class. Tenya wanted to scold Izuku for hurting Mina, but a glare from Izuku made him think twice. Noticing Koda hadn't eaten anything, Izuku approached him with a plate of food. He sensed Koda's energy and found him easily. "What do you want?" Koda asked, looking annoyed. "I saw that you didn't eat anything, so I brought some for you," Izuku offered. "I don't need anything from you, imitation of infinite." Koda shot back. "Imitation? What makes you think I'm an imitation of infinite?" Izuku replied, confused. "Because infinite can create those cubes." "I didn't see you create any," Koda said defiantly. "Izuku created a cube. Like this one? I can assure you that I'm infinite. After all, I'm the one who defeated the villain who harmed your parents." Koda's expression shifted. "How do you know about that?" "Before I defeated Muscular, I saw his memories. I'm sorry, but my power can't bring them back. If I could, my father would be alive right now." "Your father?" Koda asked, intrigued. "Yes. You know Salamander? He was my father, but he died before I was born," Izuku explained. "I saw the news where you revealed everything," Koda admitted. They began to discuss their lives, and as Koda started to eat, he eventually fell asleep. Izuku gently placed him on his back and flew back to the camp, where he handed Koda over to Mandalay, who tucked him in for the night. Izuku then settled down to sleep as well. Later that night, unable to rest, Izuku wondered what his counterpart was doing. He transformed into his infinite outfit and opened a portal. Arriving in another world, he quickly blocked a kick from his counterpart, Infinite from another universe. "I see you haven't neglected your training, Infinite," Kain remarked. "Of course not. I have to be in top shape," Infinite Ditche replied. They paused their sparring and exchanged a friendly tail shake. "So, what brings you here?" Infinite Kain asked. "In my world, I'm at the training camp and can't sleep. I hope you don't mind my visit," Infinite Ditch said. "Not at all. I could use some company," Infinite Kain replied. "Thanks. By the way, Eggman is almost finished with your inhibitor rings," Infinite Ditch added. "I'll come next time to give them to you," Infinite said. "Thanks for helping me with this chaos energy," Infinite replied. "No problem," the other Infinite responded as they walked around UA. Soon, they arrived at Nizu's door, and Infinite knocked. Coming, Nizu called from inside. They entered, and the teachers were surprised to see the other Infinite from the sports festival. "Good to see you again, nephew. I see your other self has come as well," Nizu greeted. "Yes, I thought about paying a visit," Infinite said. Eraserhead approached Infinite. "Are you a problem child as well in your world?" "Yup, you're definitely like my uncle from my world. This world is different, but also the same. One big difference is that I'm younger than my counterpart from this world." "You're younger?" Midnight asked. "Yes. I'm 15, Infinite replied. "Interesting. But I'm curious, why do you wear those rings on your wrists and ankles?" Nizu inquired. "These are my inhibitor rings. They help me control my power. I'm different from my counterpart," Infinite explained. "Well, until you go back to your world, why not help us? What do you say?" Nizu suggested. "I'll do it," Infinite agreed. They prepared to leave, but Infinite felt a hand on his shoulder. Turning around, he saw All Might. "What do you want?" Infinite asked. "Come home, Izuku." "We're sorry," Inko added. "That's not my home when you decided to neglect me." "You made your bed, now sleep on it," Infinite retorted. "That's it, young man. You're coming back and that's final. You won't disobey me." All Might shouted. "I suggest you stay down, Toshinori," Infinite said calmly. "Don't interfere. It's not concern you." All Might yelled back. "I tried to reason with you, but you're just like your counterpart from my world," Infinite said before teleporting and delivering a strong kick to All Might's face, sending him crashing into the wall. Both Infinities walked out of the office. After a while, they met Infinite's daughters, who excitedly called out to him. "Daddy, they exclaimed, and Infinite hugged them. The girls then turned to Infinite from another universe. Papa, who's he? Eri asked. And why does he look like you? Kanna added. Because he's me from a different AU, Infinite explained. Sage approached Infinite and said, I sense a power similar to my dad, but also different. That's because I have not only the Phantom Ruby but also power from other sources, Infinite replied. He noticed a little girl hiding behind his counterpart's leg, her gray eyes indicating she was blind. Who's she? Infinite asked. She's my daughter, Poka, Infinite replied. Infinite knelt down closer to Poka. Please don't hurt me, she said timidly. Relax, little one. I'm not going to hurt you, he assured her, giving her gentle head pats. Poka began to trust him. What happened to you? Why are you blind? Infinite asked softly. Poka started to cry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up painful memories, he said. It's okay. You didn't know, she replied. Do you trust me? Infinite asked. Why do you say that? Poka wondered, feeling a hand cover her eyes. Unbounding healing, he said, a red light emanating from his arm and enveloping her. After a couple of minutes, he removed his hand. Try blinking a few times, he instructed. I can see. Poka exclaimed, blinking in disbelief. How did you do that? Infinite asked in amazement. With the power of the Phantom Ruby, Chaos Emeralds, and Imstar Emerald, I developed a healing ability, Infinite explained. Thank you. Dad, I can see. Poka shouted, hugging Infinite tightly. You have to teach me this healing ability. It will come in handy, Infinite said. Of course I'll teach you. But first, you have to control that chaos energy, and then we'll work on string the power of the MSTR Emerald. Once you have the inhibitor rings ready, we'll start training, Infinite added as they walked to the 1A door. They made their Infinite outfits appear, and only Infinite entered. Katsuki, he called out. What do you want, Mutt? Infinite replied. Katsuki was about to attack but stopped midair. What the hell? Izumi, he shouted. It's not me, Izumi said. Only you have telekinesis, Shota pointed out. If it isn't Izumi, then who? Katsuki asked. That'll be me, Infinite revealed himself. You! Katsuki exclaimed. It's like I never left. Still the arrogant person in this world too, Infinite said before smashing Katsuki into the ground, leaving him unconscious. I suggest you leave my counterpart alone. His hatred surpasses my own. I don't know his past, Infinite warned. He should be arrested like you. You're both villains. Tenya shouted. Chaos Spear. Infinite declared, aiming a blast that narrowly missed Tenya, hitting the wall instead and leaving a crack. Everyone looked on in shock at the display of power. Don't think that's my full power. I'm far stronger than all of you combined, even with your counterparts from my world. I could easily defeat you, Infinite said confidently. You won't harm your sister from your world. I know you love her, just like my brother loves me, Izumi interjected. Do you know what your counterpart from my world did to me? Infinite asked, receiving silence in response. Before I was kidnapped, she gave me this, he said, removing his mask to reveal a scar over his right eye. Why do you look younger than him? Momo asked, pointing at Infinite. Because I'm only 15, Infinite replied. You're younger than my Oni-chan? Izumi asked. I'm not your brother. Infinite insisted. Neither am I. In my world, your counterpart isn't even my sister, but my stepsister, Infinite explained. What are you talking about? Shoka asked. In my world, my father was Hisashi Midoriya. He died before I was born. I later learned that he died because of All Might, Infinite revealed. Say what? Infinite exclaimed. My father was the pro-hero salamander, nominated to be the next symbol of peace. Toshinori didn't like it and asked the Hero Commission to eliminate my father. They threatened my father's mechanic to sabotage his car. After my father died, they made it look like an accident, Infinite explained, leaving everyone in shock. I lived for 12 years believing Toshinori was my father. My life was full of happiness until my stepsister, Izumi from my world, Turned I was diagnosed as quirkless while Izumi had an Inko quirk. Then all of you, who were my childhood friends, turned your backs on me. When I was 12, I tried to run away after Izumi gave me this scar. I was then kidnapped and used for experiments for 2 years. The torture and experiments changed my hair color. They implanted the Phantom Ruby in me, along with the powers of the Chaos Emeralds and Emphar Emerald. One time, I almost destroyed their facility, so they gave me these inhibitor rings to help control my powers. When I was 14, I escaped, but I didn't harm the person who experimented on me because I learned his reasons, and he had changed. Infinite, Kane, began to feel a surge of power. Infinite, Kane, expressed a longing to visit another universe for a conversation with the hero commissioned there. Infinite, Ich, understood the importance of this mission and prepared to return to his own universe. After a brief moment, thanks to Kurumi's abilities, Infinite, Ich, announced his departure. Infinite, Kane, wished him luck in facing the challenges ahead. They both acknowledged a common fear, Grandma Chio, who sent chills down their spines. Infinite, Ich, remarked on the unique fear of facing a grandmother wielding a cane. Just then, a voice interrupted them, asking what they had said. They turned to see Recovery Girl from Infinite, Kane's universe. In unison, they exclaimed in surprise, realizing they were caught. They attempted to escape, but Recovery Girl swiftly caught them both. With a firm tap of her cane on their heads, she made it clear they weren't going anywhere. After that, she left, and Infinite returned to his world. As Infinite returned through the portal to his own universe, he rubbed his head, noting how similar Recovery Girl was to his own grandmother. He then made his way to the center of the camp, summoned a trumpet, and began to play a cheerful tune. Everyone gathered outside, curious about the commotion. They found Infinite without his mask, playing the trumpet. "Wake up, lazy bones. Time for your training," he called out. Eraserhead raised an eyebrow. "Seems like you woke up early, problem child." Infinite shrugged. "Oh, I didn't sleep at all. I just arrived here from another universe." "Another universe?" Eraserhead asked, intrigued. "Alternate universe. Or parallel world," Infinite explained. Katsuki crossed his arms skeptically. "Like I'm going to believe that." Infinite smirked. "There's no difference between you and your counterpart from the other universe. The only difference is that they're older. My counterpart and the others are almost 19. As much as I want to know about this universe, we need to concentrate on this one." "Problem child, you're up," Eraserhead said. "Thanks. Today you'll fight me. One-on-one. You'll win if you inflict damage on me. If I inflict damage on you, you lose. And to make things easy for you, I'm not going to use my mystery powers, but you can use your quirks. Now bring it on." The first match was against Katsuki. "I'm going to beat you, Deku," Katsuki declared. "Actions speak louder than words. Stop barking and come at me," Infinite replied. Katsuki charged at Infinite, using his quirk, but Infinite effortlessly dodged and grabbed him from behind, performing a move that left Katsuki unconscious. "He's going to feel that in the morning," Nito remarked as Ejiro and Hanta helped Katsuki. Next up was Mina, who felt nervous facing Infinite after seeing how easily he defeated Katsuki. "Try to last longer than that, Mutt," Infinite taunted. Despite her fear, Mina created acid from her shoes and skated toward him. Infinite was impressed but remained unfazed. As she prepared to kick, Infinite anticipated her move and caught her leg. "I'm impressed by your skating technique, but it's not enough," he said before performing an ankle lock and then releasing her. "I win again," Infinite declared. Time passed, and Infinite stood before the defeated students of both classes. They hadn't lasted even 5 minutes each. "You need to improve. And problem child, how long did it take you to beat them using your powers?" Eraserhead asked. "Less than a minute," Infinite replied casually. Katsuki, now awake, shouted, "What did you say, Deku?" He charged again, but Infinite caught him midair with telekinesis. "There, I win. Don't even try to escape, I can easily take you down," Infinite warned, tossing Katsuki into a tree. "The difference between us is like a black hole," he added. Vlad inquired, Mugen, if you didn't have a quirk, how do you have the rest of your powers, like telekinesis? The telekinesis power is from Silver, who taught me. One of my friends from Mobius. The chaos attacks are from Shadow, and healing is from Knuckles, Infinite explained. Later, Pixie announced, tonight we're going to do something fun. We're having a test of courage. 1B will have to scare 1A. Mina cheered, yay! Let us be tested. But Eraserhead interrupted, sorry, but you 5 failed the practical exam, so you'll have extra classes with me. Mina groaned, you've got to be kidding me? Eraserhead warped the 5 students away, leaving Izuku laughing. Vlad then said, Mugen, you'll have to scare 1A together with 1B. Katsuki scoffed, like I'm scared of Deku. Izuku replied, you have a point. But who's that behind you? Katsuki turned to see a dark figure with a scythe. I've come for you, Katsuki Bakugo. Your time has come, the figure ominously stated. Everyone screamed, except Infinite and the adults. Izuku burst out laughing. Did you forget that I can create illusions? The group fell back in surprise, having forgotten about his abilities. Izuku, that's no way to scare you. Apologize right now. Tenya shouted. From everyone, you're the easiest to scare, Izuku teased. Denki asked, why do you say that? Because he has no courage to stand up for himself, Izuku replied. Tenya was furious, feeling mocked. Meanwhile, Izuku felt a pair of hands on his tail and turned to see Pixie cuddling it again. Again? What do you want with my tail? He asked, embarrassed. Don't blame me. I can't resist, Pixie said. Eraserhead intervened. Pixie, stop. I don't think Problem Child likes it. She let go, but soon other girls from 1B approached, wanting to cuddle with his tail as well. You too! Izuku exclaimed, flustered. As more girls approached, he created a cube in his hand. I dare you to try it. Katsumi chimed in, why don't you let us cuddle with your tail? Don't forget what you did to me. I'll never forget. So, please back off, Izuku said, pulling his tail away. Preparing to scare 1A, he felt a surge of energy, flew high into the sky, and donned his Infinite outfit. Later, Infinite confronted a Nomu with a fire quirk. After defeating it, he noticed Itsuka and Tetsu struggling against a gas-masked villain. Chaos control, he exclaimed, moving outside of time, holding his breath, and delivering a powerful kick that knocked the villain out. He then created a gust of wind to disperse the gas. Are you two okay? He asked. We're fine, Itsuka replied. Just some scratches, Tetsu added. Infinite placed his hands on their heads. Unbounding healing. He healed them before moving on to find the others. He soon spotted Ochako and Tsiu in trouble with a blonde girl named Toga. As Toga lunged at them with a knife, Infinite intervened, knocking her out with a swift chop before teleporting away. Meanwhile, Mandalay and Tiger were battling Magna and Spinner. You're finished, fake heroes, Spinner taunted. Suddenly, Infinite appeared, throwing a small TV at Spinner, hitting him in the head. You're on TV, he quipped. Magna charged at Infinite, who countered by creating a public phone and hitting Magna with it. It's for you, he said with a grin. Eventually, the villains escaped, leaving only Moonfish, who was knocked out by Infinite. Katsuki had been kidnapped. At home, Izuku was with his daughter, Eri. Thank you, Papa, for doing my hair, she smiled. Anytime, Snowball, Izuku replied, receiving a message from Nizu to come to UA. He called Fuyumi to ask if she could watch Eri, and she agreed to come over. Thank you for helping me, Fuyumi, Izuku said gratefully. Don't mention it. You helped us back in the day. I'm just returning the favor, she replied. Izuku nodded and headed to UA, arriving at Nizu's office. On the way to Nizu's office, Izuku encountered Xtreme, who called out to him. Ignoring her, he continued walking until she grabbed his tail. Don't you dare ignore me, young man, she exclaimed. Izuku turned and, in a moment of frustration, slapped her, causing her to let go and fall to the ground. Listen here, Inko. Walk away from my path, or next time, there will be no mercy, he warned before heading to Nizu's office, leaving Xtreme in tears. Izuku knocked on the door. Coming, Nizu replied, and Izuku opened it. To see you, nephew, Nizu greeted. Likewise. But I don't think you called me just to see me, Izuku replied, sensing the urgency in the air. Indeed. I know you have your issues with Bakugo, but we need all the help we can get. Will you assist us? Nizu asked earnestly. Hate is a compliment for him, but I'll help you, Izuku agreed. Thank you for your help, nephew, Nizu said as Izuku exited, transforming into his infinite outfit and flying to the rooftop of UA. Suddenly, he sensed someone approaching and instinctively punched the air, only for his fist to be stopped by a black sword wielded by Technoblade. You're getting better and better, Infinite remarked. Then, he caught an arrow shot by Dream, who stood with a crossbow. Good to see you two again, my friends, Infinite greeted. Likewise, Infinite, Dream replied. We heard about what happened at the training camp. We know you could handle it. But what did you discuss with Nizu? He wants me to help the heroes rescue Katsuki, Infinite explained. And what did you say? Dream asked. Even if I dislike him, I have to rescue him. Plus, I'll deal with him myself later, Izuku stated. Good luck, Infinite, Technoblade said. Be careful out there, Dream added. I know, Infinite replied, and they shared a fist pump before he took off into the sky. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Izumi was with Momo and the rest of Class 1. Class 1B was absent because Infinite had healed his classmates. We need to rescue Katsubro, Ejiro said urgently. I know, but we need to think, Izumi replied. If we're going to save him, why not ask Izuku for help? He can easily teleport straight to Katsuki and bring him back, Denki suggested. Sometimes you're smart. But do you think he'll help us? Kyoka questioned. Of course he'll help us. We're his friends, Mina assured. Just then, a piece of paper fell to the floor. Tsuyu picked it up and read, If you think that I'll help you, then you're dumber than you look. So, it's a no, Momo concluded. Back with Infinite, he could have easily teleported to his grandfather to rescue Katsuki, but he decided to wait until nightfall. At UA, Nizu gathered heroes and police forces. We are here to set up a plan to save Katsuki Bakugo from the villains, he announced. I understand the situation. But why do we have to save the kid? Did we forget about him and his class? It's hard to stay close to them, Gang Orca pointed out, gesturing to All Might and Xtreme. Trust me, you're not the only one, Endeavor added. Believe me. All I want is to leave the kid there and throw his class in Tartarus, but as heroes, we have a duty to protect them, Nizu replied. Time passed, and the heroes found themselves in the villains' bar. You're done, villains! All Might shouted, but strange liquid began to flow from both the villains and Katsuki, causing them to vanish. Meanwhile, Izumi, Katsumi, Shoka, Shoto, Ejiro, Momo, and Tenya were hiding behind a wall, watching in horror as the heroes were easily defeated by All for One. Then, the villains from the bar, along with Katsuki, appeared. Tamura, it seems our plans were delayed, FO said calmly. Sensei, All Might is. Tamura started, but AFO interrupted. I know that. It seems our guest is arriving faster than I anticipated. All Might and AFO clashed, with All Might declaring, This time I'll put you in prison. All for one. How convenient for you to come to your own funeral, All Might, AFO retorted. Infinite arrived and noticed the heroes were injured. He rushed to Beast Genist. Try not to move too much, he advised. Infinite. Beast Genist replied, surprised. Infinite nodded and placed a hand on his wound. Unbounding healing. He said, healing him. Thanks, Beast Genist said gratefully. Infinite continued healing the rest of the heroes. Now go. Rescue the citizens and get out of here, he instructed. What do you mean? You're coming with us, Emilady insisted. Sorry, but I'm staying. I have to, Infinite replied firmly. Don't be foolish. We know you're powerful, but you can't stand a chance, Gang Orca warned. I don't have time to argue with you, Infinite said, and he teleported away. Back with All Might, Xtreme had evacuated everyone but couldn't take Katsuki. I don't need this anymore, FO said, removing his mask. No. Sensei, You'll die if you do that. Tamura exclaimed, but they were shocked by what they saw. Fo's face was restored. How? All Might shouted in disbelief. My grandson's power is incredible, you have to admit, Fo replied. Grandson? Tamura echoed, confused. Just then, Infinite appeared. He's referring to me, he stated, landing in the middle of the fight. Katsuki spotted Infinite. Oi Dikyu! What are you doing here? He yelled. From her hiding spot, Izumi thought. Oni-chan. Ejiro whispered, what's he doing here? Infinite remained silent, which only fueled Katsuki's anger. Answer me, you stupid Deku, he shouted again. Still, Infinite did not respond. Are you ignoring me? Katsuki demanded. Finally, Infinite turned to him. What would be the point of talking to you? I can't understand you when you're just barking, he replied. Burn, twice commented from the sidelines. Katsuki, furious, dashed at Infinite but was halted midair by Infinite's telekinesis. Really? You never learn. And there's no use hiding, I know you're there, Infinite said. Izumi thought, how does he know we're here? Take this and get out of here, Infinite instructed, throwing Katsuki against the wall. The others hiding behind the wall quickly took him and escaped. AFO, go, he commanded, using his quirk to activate Magna and Kurogiri's powers to send them away. Now it's just the three of us, FO said, facing Infinite. Indeed, Infinite replied. Son, All Might called out. Chaos Spear. Infinite shouted, launching an attack that struck All Might hard, sending him crashing into a building. You're not my father. My father is Hisashi, not you. The one who you killed to have that spot you don't deserve. Infinite declared, his emotions boiling over. Calming himself, he turned to AFO. I'm sorry, Grandpa. But All Might is mine. If you want him, you have to get through me. Very well, grandson. Don't hold back because I'm your grandpa, AFO replied, readying himself for battle. I won't, Infinite vowed, and they charged at each other. FO unleashed an attack of fire and lightning, but Infinite countered with a sphere of energy blast. He dashed at AFO, who attempted to block the attack but was sent crashing into a wall. Very impressive, grandson. Now, shall we continue? AFO challenged. We shall, Infinite affirmed, and they charged again. Time passed, and Infinite stood over AFO, who lay on the ground defeated. I won. I'm sorry, Grandpa, Infinite said, his voice heavy with emotion. Don't be. Now finish the fight, AFO urged. What? Infinite asked, confused. You have to end my life. My quirk corrupts people. I lost my sense of self long ago. If I must die, I want it to be by my family's hands, AFO said, accepting his fate. Please, grandson, do it for me, Fo pleaded as he removed his mask, making it vanish. I'll do it for you, Grandpa, Izuku replied, determination in his voice. Before you end it, I want you to have my quirks. Return them to their rightful owners if they're alive. If not, give them to those without quirks. Then, use your power to destroy me once and for all. Izuku crouched down as Fo transferred all of his quirks to him. I'm ready, Fo said. Tears streamed down Izuku's face. Thank you. For everything, Grandpa. He gathered his energy and shouted, Chaos Blast. The powerful blast erupted, and after a minute, it dissipated, leaving AFO's lifeless body on the ground. Izuku fell to his knees, sobbing beside AFO. A reporter announced, it appears that Infinite has killed AFO. Izumi, watching from a distance, confirmed, he killed him. Meanwhile, All Might had just awakened and rushed to the scene, only to be met with destruction. He spotted Izuku crying over AFO's body. As he approached, he accidentally made noise, catching Izuku's attention. The boy's expression shifted from sorrow to rage. You! Izuku shouted. Son, All Might responded, trying to reach out. Chaos Spear. Izuku unleashed an attack that nearly struck All Might, but it was deflected by Xtreme's telekinesis. Please, Izuku, listen, Xtreme urged. In a flash, Izuku teleported in front of her and pushed her aside, grabbing All Might by the collar. It's your fault. You killed my father, made my life unbearable, and now I had to kill my grandpa, the only family I had left. I can't believe I looked up to you. I healed your wound, but I'll take it back." With that, Izuku fired an energy blast at All Might's left side, where his wound was, causing him to cry out in pain. The onlookers gasped in horror. Katsuki gritted his teeth, thinking, "I'll get you for this, Deku." Izuku dropped All Might to the ground, clutching his side. "Never appear in my way again." He then took AFO's body and flew away. After some time, he landed in a serene place and began to dig a hole to bury his grandpa. Once finished, he created a coffin and placed AFO inside. After covering the coffin with dirt, he fashioned a funeral stone that read, "Here lies Shigaraki, a loving family member." 2 days passed since Izuku's loss. After burying his grandpa, he set out to return the quirks to their original owners. For those without owners, he gave them to quirkless individuals who aspired to be heroes. He then used his powers to destroy AFO's quirk. Returning home, Izuku placed a barrier around his house, isolating himself from the world. Eri was with Rumi, while Nizu and others sought to help Izuku through his grief. In Class 1B, his classmates expressed their concern. "Izuku hasn't come to school again," Kinoko remarked. "Can you blame him? He lost his only family," Yosetsu replied. "We need to give him space," Sen added. "He's helped us countless times. Now it's our turn to show we care," Nito said. Back at Izuku's home, the place was a mess, trash scattered everywhere, claw marks on the walls, and All Might merchandise destroyed. Izuku sat on the couch, disheveled and unkempt, only getting up to eat or use the bathroom. Meanwhile, Momo and the others were in disbelief. "Did he really do that?" Momo asked. "It can't be," Tsuyu added. "It is. We saw him defeat AFO," Ejiro confirmed. Katsuki, angered, declared, "I'm going to confront Deku for hurting All Might." Suddenly, Sonic appeared, taunting Katsuki. "Like you can touch him." Katsuki charged at Sonic, but the hedgehog was too quick. "You're too slow," Sonic said before dashing away. Zero arrived at Izuku's house, noticing the barrier. "Guys, I found his house," he announced. The others gathered, but they couldn't pass the barrier. Zero's phantom ruby began to pulse, allowing him to walk through. "It must be that only those who possess a phantom ruby can pass," Shadow noted. Zero entered and saw the destruction inside. Spotting Izuku asleep on the couch, he approached. "Izuku, are you okay?" Izuku woke, his red eyes revealing his sorrow. "Yeah, I'm fine. There's no point in lying to me." "I recognize that look," Zero said gently. "You're not alone. You have your friends, me, Sonic, and the others. Family is built by those who care for you." In that moment, Izuku released all his pent-up pain. "Thank you, Zero," he cried, embracing him. Zero returned the hug, and after a moment, Izuku lowered the barrier. Sonic and the others entered, and Izuku greeted them. "Hey guys." Time passed, and with the help of his friends, Izuku began to clean his house. "Thank you for helping," he said gratefully. "Don't mention it. You've helped us many times," Sonic replied before they opened a portal to leave. Izuku changed into fresh clothes and decided to visit Rumi. Instead of flying, he walked to her house, arriving 20 minutes later. He knocked on the door. "Coming," Rumi called, opening the door. Upon seeing Izuku, she exclaimed, "Jackal?" "Yeah, it's me," he replied. Rumi playfully punched him on the head. "Oh, what was that for?" "For not showing any sign of life," she said, pulling him into a hug. "I'm sorry for not answering. I just needed some time alone," Izuku explained as he embraced her back. Eri, who had been on the couch, rushed towards him. "Papa!" Izuku caught her in his arms. "Good to see you again, Snowball." "Please, Papa, don't leave me," Eri pleaded. "I won't, Snowball. I just needed some time alone," he reassured her. Another day at school arrived, and Izuku was informed by Nizu and Vlad about the new dorm system. He packed his belongings and prepared for the next chapter in his life. The day had finally arrived for Izuku to return to UA. Eri was already at the UA kindergarten, and as Izuku approached the 1B dorm, he knocked on the door. Cozy Eye's voice came from inside, announcing that he would open it. When the door swung open, Izuku was greeted with enthusiasm as Cozy Eye pulled him inside. The rest of the class quickly surrounded him, welcoming him back with warm hugs. Yosetsu expressed how great it was to see Izuku again, while Juzo and Rin echoed similar sentiments, saying they missed him. After catching up, Izuku headed to his room to unpack his belongings from the pocket dimension, eagerly waiting for Eri to arrive. The room was spacious enough for both of them, and soon Eri joined him, and they settled in for the night. The next morning, Izuku and Eri woke up, shared breakfast, and got ready for the day, changing into their uniforms. Izuku picked Eri up, and together with his class, they made their way to UA. Eri headed off to kindergarten while Izuku and his classmates entered the 1B classroom. As the day progressed, classes came to an end, and Izuku set off to pick up Eri. On his way, he encountered MDM Beach and her guards, who confronted him with accusations. Izuku stood firm, refusing to let them intimidate him, especially when they threatened to take Eri away. In a moment of anger, Izuku confronted MDM Beach directly, expressing his frustration with her actions. The situation escalated quickly, and Izuku found himself defending his daughter fiercely. After the confrontation, he picked Eri up and headed to Nizu's office, as requested by his uncle. On the way, he crossed paths with Class 1A, who attempted to approach him. Izuku, feeling protective, warned them to stay back. Tensions rose when Tenya spoke harshly to Eri, causing her to cry. In a protective rage, Izuku used his powers to subdue Tenya, demonstrating the lengths he would go to for his daughter. As the situation spiraled, Katsuki took advantage of the chaos, leading to a confrontation between him and Izuku. Izuku, filled with determination, sought to protect Eri and confront the challenges ahead. The scene shifted to ground beta, where Izuku and Katsuki faced off. Izuku, now in his infinite form, prepared for a decisive battle, determined to end the conflict once and for all. As the fight unfolded, it became clear that both characters were pushed to their limits, revealing their true strengths and weaknesses. The stakes were high, and the outcome of their clash would have lasting implications for everyone involved. In the observation room, the tension was palpable as teachers and classmates watched the fight unfold, realizing that this was a pivotal moment for both Izuku and Katsuki. As the battle raged on, a mysterious figure appeared, claiming to be from an alternate universe, revealing a connection to Izuku that would change everything. With emotions running high and the fate of their world hanging in the balance, the story continued to unfold, leaving everyone eager to see what would happen next. Izumi wanted to get close to Roddy, but Roddy warned her to stay back, showcasing his powers with green fire and acid. He expressed his frustration, revealing that he had been bullied in his world, similar to Izumi's experience. Katsuki, determined to prove himself, shouted at Infinite, claiming he would defeat him. Infinite taunted Katsuki, pointing out that he had not landed a hit and that the roles had reversed. As Infinite summoned his powers, Katsuki boasted about his own abilities, but soon found himself surrounded by powerful cubes that attacked him relentlessly. In the observatory, Momo and Ochako speculated about Infinite's intentions, while Eraserhead noted that he was trying to get into Katsuki's head. Roddy confirmed that, like his counterpart, Katsuki had a temper issue. Back in the fight, Katsuki launched himself at Infinite, but his attacks were easily dodged. Infinite continued to taunt him, questioning how he could call himself a hero while being so self-centered. After delivering a series of powerful punches, Katsuki struggled to get back on his feet, clearly injured. All Might, recovering from his own injuries, prepared to intervene but was blocked by Roddy, who revealed his identity as another version of Izuku Midoriya. Roddy explained that in his world, All Might had not killed his father. Katsuki, fueled by anger, prepared a massive attack, but when the dust settled, Infinite remained unscathed. As Infinite retaliated, Katsuki attempted to block the attack but was overwhelmed. After a brutal exchange, Infinite chose to spare Katsuki, warning him to stay out of his way in the future. Katsuki, shaken and in pain, realized he was afraid, a feeling he struggled to accept. In a desperate move, he launched an explosion at Infinite, but it backfired, resulting in a severe injury. Infinite reminded him of his power and then teleported to Roddy, confirming that he had not killed Katsuki but had left him significantly weakened. All Might confronted Infinite about his actions, but Infinite dismissed his concerns, focusing instead on Katsuki's past actions. As All Might attempted to retaliate, he was blocked by Infinite, and Roddy intervened with his own powers. The scene shifted as another version of Infinite appeared, and introductions were made. After a brief exchange, the two Infinite versions discussed their progress and the challenges they faced. Roddy thanked Infinite for a device that would allow him to visit and call for help. As the chapter concluded, the medic bots took Katsuki and All Might away for treatment. In the observation room, Izuku explained to his classmates that he had the ability to open portals, leading to his encounters with other versions of himself and Roddy. The group processed this revelation, realizing the complexities of their situation. Tetsu asked Izuku about a time when someone emitted green fire and acid. Izuku explained that unlike him, that person had quirks. He shared the story of Hisashi from another world, who discovered his wife Inko's infidelity. In response, he sealed the Roddy quirk, Emerald Fire, when Izuku was just a baby in the hospital. At the age of 12, Hisashi was kidnapped by AFO, and in that world he had no relation to Izuku. AFO placed two quirks on him, Acid and Enchanted. When Izuku turned 14, he met his real father, who released the seal and took both him and Luffy away. This revelation left everyone shocked. The girls from Class 1B approached Izuku. Itsuka expressed concern, asking if he had done something wrong since he hadn't left the house for the past 2 days. Reiko playfully declared that as punishment, he would take them all on dates, and they had already decided the order. Izuku agreed, knowing he couldn't refuse. The order was set: Itsuka, Reiko, Yui, Ibara, Mei, Setsuna, Pony, and Kinoko. On his date with Itsuka, Izuku waited for her arrival, holding 2 tickets to the Bruce Lee movie, Enter the Dragon. When Itsuka arrived, she wore her signature sneakers, shorts, and a t-shirt. She declared she was ready for the date, and Izuku offered his arm. Itsuka took his hand and rested her head on his shoulder as they walked to the cinema. After enjoying the movie, they exited and headed back to the dorms. Itsuka thanked Izuku for the date with a smile, and he returned the gesture. They embraced, and as they closed their eyes, they shared a sweet kiss. Izuku then teleported to his room while Itsuka went to hers to sleep. The next day, it was time for his date with Reiko. This time, Izuku had secured tickets for a horror movie, Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. Reiko arrived dressed in black, ready for the date. She excitedly asked about the movie, and Izuku shared the title. Reiko jumped in delight and hugged him, curious about how he managed to get the tickets. Izuku explained that when he saved some people as Infinite, one of them was the owner of the cinema. They made their way to the cinema, eager to enjoy the movie together. After the movie, Izuku asked Reiko if she enjoyed it. She responded by placing her hands on his cheeks and giving him a gentle kiss on the lips, which made Izuku smile. He didn't say anything but wagged his tail in excitement. They then teleported back to the dorms to get some rest. On another date, they watched the Back to the Future franchise. For Ibara, Izuku chose to see Constantine, and with Mei, they enjoyed the Iron Man movie. Setsuna joined him for Godzilla vs. King Kong, while Pony preferred a rodeo contest instead of a movie. When Pony arrived, Izuku offered her his arm, and they walked together to the event. Once they arrived at the rodeo, they found their seats and settled in to watch. Izuku commented on the intensity of the competition, and Pony agreed, sharing in the excitement. After the rodeo, Izuku teleported them back to the dorms. When they reached his room, Pony followed him inside, prompting Izuku to ask what she was doing there. She explained her quirk and her animal instincts, which led Izuku to make the room soundproof. They shared a kiss, and as they enjoyed each other's company, they became lost in the moment. Outside, Momo and Kyoka overheard some sounds from the dorm, with Kyoka mentioning she heard Pony's voice. Katsumi expressed her surprise at what was happening. Back in Izuku's room, he and Pony continued to enjoy their time together. The next morning, Izuku found Pony resting on top of him. After realizing she was unable to move, he healed her before teleporting her back to her room, ensuring she was dressed before they left. Later, Izuku had a date with Kinoko, where they watched the Super Mario Bros. Movie. After the film, they shared a kiss, and Kinoko invited him to her room. When he arrived, he was surprised to see her in a Mirko cosplay. Overwhelmed by his feelings, he teleported them back to his room and made it soundproof again. Izuku expressed his feelings, and Kinoko blushed, wrapping her arms around him. They shared a kiss, and Kinoko reassured him that she was willing to share more moments together. They enjoyed their time, and the next morning, Izuku woke up with Kinoko in his arms. After healing her, he teleported her back to her room, and they both prepared for another day of school. Izuku wanted to express his love for his girlfriends but was unsure how to do it. He opened a portal and brought Radi to help him. Radi agreed to assist, and soon all 9 of Izuku's girlfriends gathered in the music room. Izuku confessed his love for them and explained his lack of courage. Radi introduced himself and prepared to sing a song dedicated to Rumi, starting with, "Just the Way You Are." Oh, her eyes make the stars look like they're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so appealing, and I tell her every day. I know when I compliment her, she won't believe me, and it's sad to think that she doesn't see what I see. But every time she asks me, "Do I look okay?" I say, "When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing just the way you are." And when she smiles, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause girl, you're amazing just the way you are. Her lips, I could kiss them all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates. It wasn't your fault, Luffy reassured, calming down as they resumed their walk. Soon they encountered Hisashi. "Dad!" Izuku and Luffy exclaimed, rushing to hug him. "Hey kids!" Hisashi greeted warmly, then noticed Izuku standing in front of them. He understood what had happened to Izuku, as Izuku had shared the details with him. Releasing his children, he stepped forward to embrace Izuku. "There, son," Hisashi said gently. "But I'm not your Izuku," Izuku replied, uncertainty in his voice. "Yes, you are. I'm sorry for what happened to you, but I'm here for you," Hisashi assured him. Hearing this, Izuku hugged back tightly, allowing himself to cry as he felt the love of a father, something he had never experienced before. After a moment, Izuku opened a portal to return to his world. Before he left, Izuku handed him a memory card filled with copies of all his songs. "Thank you for the songs," Izuku said gratefully. As he neared his dorm, he listened to a song titled "Wolf in Sheep's Clothing." The lyrics resonated with him, reflecting the theme of deception and the struggles of those who pretend to be kind while hiding their true intentions. Arriving at his dorm, he entered his room and opened his laptop, inserting the USB he received from Izuku about his grandfather. As the video began, a familiar voice filled the room. "Hello, grandson. If you are seeing this, that means I'm dead. I made this video to tell you about your quirk." "My quirk?" Izuku questioned, intrigued. "You were never quirkless, Izuku. You had AFO 3.0, and your father had AFO 2. If the world finds out about your quirk, they might label you a villain for something beyond your control. I took Hisashi's quirk when he was young and replaced it with a fire-breathing ability. I also took yours, but I couldn't give you the powerful fire quirk that could rival Endeavor's. I wouldn't care if I was caught, but if they found out you were my grandson, they would imprison you. You might hate me for not telling you sooner, but I love you, grandson." Izuku fell to his knees, overwhelmed with emotion. He cried out in frustration, feeling the weight of his grandfather's revelations. In a surge of power, he flew high into the sky, releasing his pent-up emotions. Back at the dorm, his classmates felt the tremors of his distress. Momo and Kyoka exchanged worried glances, unsure of what was happening. Izuku landed, struggling to control his emotions. He made his way to Nizu's office, his infinite outfit manifesting around him, radiating a powerful aura. Students cleared a path as he approached. Inside the office, the teachers were taken aback by his presence. Toshinori, sensing the tension, asked, "Son, what is it?" In a flash, Izuku moved and slammed Toshinori against the wall. "It's your fault. I'll make you pay," he shouted, his anger palpable. Eraserhead intervened, asking, "Problem child, what are you talking about?" Izuku handed them the USB, and the teachers watched the video in silence. After it ended, they understood the depth of Izuku's pain, and many felt a longing to let him confront Toshinori. "You took my family away from me. You'll pay," Izuku declared, gathering energy for an attack. "Don't do this, Izuku," Midnight pleaded, her eyes filled with concern. Eraserhead added, "If you kill him, what makes you better than him?" Izuku hesitated, the energy sphere dissipating. Midnight removed her mask, revealing her tear-filled eyes. Inko called out to him, but Izuku, consumed by anger, created a clone that pushed her against the wall. "Don't you dare call me that. You knew about my father's death and never told me," he shouted before turning back to Toshinori, who was now on the floor, injured. "Now you and Katsuki are matched," he said coldly, preparing to leave. As he glanced back at Inko, he created throwable knives, which he used to pin her arms and legs to the wall. With that, Izuku exited the office, leaving chaos in his wake. 2 weeks later, it was time for Izuku's wedding with those he loved. Attendees included Eri, his classmates, and friends from various worlds. From a distance, Technoblade and Dream watched the event unfold. In the afterlife, Afo smiled, saying, "Be happy, grandson." His wife added, "He'll be happy, honey." Hisashi chimed in, "He's my son after all." The three embraced, proud of Izuku's journey. Back in the living world, Izuku felt a mix of emotions, unable to fully embrace the happiness of the moment. He was surrounded by the people who cared about him. Outside were Class 1A, Toshinori, and Inko. Katsuki and Toshinori both had metal arms. The girls from Class 1A wanted to stop the wedding but couldn't enter, as Izuku and his counterpart had used their powers to create a barrier. The wedding ceremony concluded, and Izuku shared kisses with Rumi and then with the rest of his partners. The celebration began, and Izuku conversed with his counterparts. Izuku asked, "So, you took care of Overhaul too?" Izuku, Kain, replied, "Yeah. He was the one who experimented on me. I dealt with him after I escaped." Izuku added, "I confronted him and made it look like he ended his own life." Izuku responded, "Nice." Izuku chimed in, "Overhaul from my world is still alive, but I heard from the guards that he had a mishap." Time passed, and 2 years later, Izuku was content with his life. He had 11 children, having adopted Koda after the wedding, and he was raising kids with his girlfriends. The girls from Class 1A still held on to the hope that Izuku would return to them. In a flashback, Tenya attempted to force Izuku back by kidnapping Eri. When Izuku found Eri, she was bruised and hurt. He confronted Tenya, grabbing him by the throat, and they teleported to Ground Beta. "What are we doing here?" Tenya asked. "Fulfilling my promise," Izuku replied, removing his inhibitor rings. "Chaos Blast," he declared, and the blast ended Tenya's threat. The flashback ended, and now Izuku was home, taking care of the babies, Koda and Eri. "Hi, Dad," they greeted. "Hey kids. What did you do today at school?" Izuku asked. "I got a boyfriend," Eri replied. Izuku then created a few clones of himself to help care for the babies. "Koda, grab your toy. We're going to have some father-son bonding time."